Hello everyone and welcome to State of the Realm, your weekly Final Fantasy XIV podcast. This week, my voice is destroyed. I tried to get through the opening without it cracking, but that is not gonna happen. Sick the past couple of days, but the show's not about me. The show is about 4.0 changes. We finally get to talk about all those Media Tour Embargo stuff and yada yada yada. And I'm going to do my best to let the other gentlemen do most of the talking for the show. But I'm one of your hosts, Michael, Mr. Happy Poverum. Of course, joining me is Slyh, a.k.a. Slythefox, a.k.a. Slyh, a.k.a. Greyfox, a.k.a. you, my boy Blue. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I can say for a fact that two out of the four hosts here have lost their voice at one point in time during our tenure at State of the Realm.
Yeah, well, you know, it's all that talking, man. Just all that talking.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's all the screaming and fest. Yeah.
Back and forth.
Yep.
Forward and back. God damn it.
Forward and back, sorry.
And I'll make the intro simple. We're doing another Four Horsemen show. I'm Pestilence. Slyh is War. Of course, joining us is the Dragoon of Death. Whether it's his own or somebody else's is hard to tell. Ethys.
Oh man, how long have you been planning that joke?
About 60 seconds.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
That's beautiful. What's up, everybody?
Spot on.
And then, of course, we have finally a famine because he doesn't eat anything.
I'm gonna steal your chicken nuggets.
Here's Merri.
He doesn't eat Hot Pockets.
Yeah, he doesn't eat Hot Pockets.
No.
So I'm sick. I don't even feel like turning my camera on. So enjoy a picture of Aloha on my spot the entire episode. I mean, listen, if you're going to have to listen to this voice for any period of time, you might as well get to enjoy a picture of a cat.
The Sam of Fam.
The Sam of Fam.
That's me.
I like that. I like that.
It's good.
Yeah, so there's a picture of my cat. That is my cat. Just so we're 100% clear.
His cat. His cat. No one else's.
Aloha, Dwayne the Cat Johnson.
Look, you can't. I was right. You can't fit the whole cat in one photo.
Well, no. So that's because the photo is the resolution of like a phone.
Nah, it's because he's too fat.
Yeah. Well, you know. There you go.
Hmm.
But anyway, so Monday decided to tweet out that we were putting off the show due to unfortunate circumstances. And that was because of the media tour. And then I ended up getting sick, so we couldn't have done the show yesterday anyway. So I think I kind of cursed myself.
So now we're putting it on due to unfortunate circumstances.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to try to let them do a lot of the talking. That being said, I'm not going to be able to shut up because of me. So we'll see what happens. So, very limited format in a sense today. We pretty much are just kind of talking about whatever we want when it comes to the 4.0 ability changes. I know for a fact we have 2 Dragoons and a Samurai here. And I'm a monk. So
it's a melee DPS show.
Yeah, pretty much.
Particularly.
Yeah. So I just want to kick off. There's one person here who wasn't at the media event. That would be our boy Slyh here. So you're actually the first person I want to hear talk because a lot of this information is new to you in the last several hours. So
Is it? Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So I don't know. Is there anything in particular that you want to bring up? Do you want to go straight to Dragoon, Slyh? Do you want to talk about any of the other jobs that excited you with what you saw?
I still want to talk about the job that pissed me off the most. Well, not really pissed me off, but disappointed me the most.
What? Oh, no. It's a Slyh. Don't. Last week you said what it was. It can't be the same job this week.
Yes, it still is.
Okay. All right. For those who need reminding, Slyh, what job were you most disappointed by last week?
Machinist.
Why are you still the most disappointed about Machinist?
Because my thoughts were confirmed with the description of the heat cage. Basically, in my opinion, I feel like they were going the right direction with it. I kind of feel like they were sort of nerfing it in a way. their whole issue has been balancing the jobs, balancing the damage, utility, whatnot. And Red Mage does it properly with, balancing your mana and everything. You have to do a kind of balancing act with your heat. And if you go over heat, you sort of get a penalty in the form of your damage going down. And I feel like that was a bit too much in terms of it, because, there's no real penalty. Like, Red Mage is a little more forgiving, and, it's pretty much the same thing, but it's a little more forgiving. This is just a hardcore fucking penalty.
Let me posit this to you, Sly.
Okay.
In regards to the penalty, no ranged DPS have DPS penalties for kind of getting things slightly wrong, other than like fucking up their rotation or whatever at this time, right?
Right.
How is this you feel mechanically different to something that you would find like categorically acceptable, like having penalties for missing flank and rear bow?
Yeah, but positionals, I feel like that's slightly more forgiving. I mean, you're not always going to have your positionals in raid content. You kind of have to get that up, and for the sake of mechanics and keeping,
But you shouldn't never have to pick up your heat gauge for the sake of mechanics and movement, should you?
No.
I will say this, though.
Go ahead.
I kind of feel you. It's the only job that is a penalty for their gauge. Like, technically, like the tanks, the Paladin and Warrior, like, their penalty is switching. But they're the only ones that legit say, hey, go over and goodbye to 10% of your damage and your benefits and everything. So I understand where he's coming from there. That being said, I feel like they give you plenty of tools for managing it.
Yeah, they give you tools for managing it, but at the same time, it feels like a nerf, because I feel like before the heat gauge, you could just really just go ham on any, pretty much weapon skills and everything, and not have to worry about, maintaining heat or whatever this is. Now it's kind of, it's kind of limiting you to what you can do.
So it's more like a nerf because they said they wanted to decrease the skill gap. You're saying you think the heat gauge has increased the skill gap on Machinist in a sense. Because if it's a nerf, because, I mean, I guess I could kind of understand where you're coming from.
I get that
point.
I get that. But at the same time, I mean, the thing that most people would have cited in regards to previous skill gap with Machinist would have been the Machinist opener, right? And as far as I understand, I know like none of us have really, as far as I understand anyway, kind of min-maxed and worked out the optimal rotation for it. But I feel like it's a lot simpler in its opening than it was previously.
Oh, it's incredibly simple. The opening is incredibly simple.
That's what I thought. So it seems like they've sort of cleaned it up there and then been like, all right, well, how do we increase the skill ceiling now that we've, closed it significantly there?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
But at the cost of damage, though?
I don't think it is at the cost of damage. You just need to pay a bit more attention.
Yeah.
The thing is, Machinist. Well, okay, so Machinist and Bard, they're getting their movement back. They're getting simplified openers. They're getting a lot of ways that it feels a lot easier than it did in Heaven's Ward. I feel like if we didn't have the heat gauge, Machinist would be comparatively, compared to what it's been in Heaven's Ward, would be a complete face roll.
I agree. It gives you something to work towards, I guess, something to balance, so you're not just like, I just hit buttons and I run around.
Going through the motions, exactly. Yeah. It's going to keep you on your toes.
But I don't feel like it ever seemed like mindless fucking DPS though. Even still.
No, but I feel like the way, and again, I only played it for a couple of minutes, but I got the impression that without the heat gauge, it would be a lot more boring, basically. So I don't know. I guess we'll see when we get to spend some more time with it. I think the concern is like absolutely legit, because no other job has anything quite like this, as we've pointed out, in terms of being punished for not regulating your gauges properly. But at the same time, I think that when people get used to it, it's something that I don't know, that isn't going to rub anyone the wrong way so much.
Sure. It just felt a little shitty to me, and like, why only this job?
It does feel a little bit contrived. I agree with that.
Yeah. Why only this job has
strange.
a hardcore penalty
why,
rather than?
Well, can you guys answer that? Like, why is it only Machinist that's doing this?
Yeah,
That's a good question. You'd think they'd do something similar to Bard.
Well, I think that they did do something
Yes.
sort of Bard, precisely because the point I was making last week, that in simplifying the jobs, they've wanted to make sure that they haven't become too homogenized.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it might be sort of contrived or artificial little things like that they, you know, put in very deliberately to make sure that they do feel different. But the end result is still that they do feel, at least in my opinion, substantially more different than they did in Heavensward. And I think that's true of the melee DPS, which we're going to talk about as well. I think it's true of the tanks. I think it's true of everyone. And I think it's a really impressive line that they've managed to walk, like I say, in between simplifying things and having them stand out from others within the same role.
Oh, absolutely. It's honestly, it's a little mind-boggling just how much they've changed a lot of the existing jobs.
Yeah. And I don't think it's just change for the sake of change to like keep people on their toes and get them back to the game, sort of feeling refreshed and feeling like they have to learn something. Like, it is all or mostly like really, really positive change.
Yeah, well thought out, and like things really, I think the biggest thing to pull from all the changes is they've really shaken up the idea of, at least from what it seems right now, the idea of a meta. And that it seems like a lot more jobs are going to be a lot more viable, like a lot more comps are going to be a lot more viable. So,
and to be fair, I mean, most people talking about the meta in Heavensward and the comps and all of that, like, oh, you know, Dark Knight's going to be shit and Monk's going to be shit, and then we see World First using these, these non-meta compositions. So I mean, it didn't fucking matter in Heavensward, and it's going to matter even less now.
Yeah.
I would like to say that I'm seeing some talk in the chat that overheat might be mistranslated, and that might actually increase your damage dealt by 20%. I don't know if that's because these tooltips were fucked up. That seems like a pretty drastic difference.
That's a big fuck up if it is.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I want to say I don't think so.
It was. What does that mean, Lux? Since it was.
It was.
Yeah, like Samurai's 150%, but it's actually 50%. Well,
or it is
mistranslated. So that would mean that, okay, going back a little bit, now it's about overheating at the right time.
Well.
Never mind then.
Okay.
There we go.
Right. Just mixes all that. Thanks.
Disregard. All right. What a waste of a conversation.
No. Because what we were saying still.
I suppose, yeah.
And now if you overheat at a bad time, it's still shitty.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not as punishing.
And there are some abilities you're not allowed to use while you're overheated. So.
Well, I don't know how that one got through the cracks for all of us, but I appreciate the correction.
Yeah.
Well, because all of us saw the word decrease and said, okay.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
In a nutshell, that's pretty much what happened. And I would like to point out that overheat lasts for the same amount of time as wildfire, which are both 10 seconds now. So
Joinky dick.
Have fun.
Ooh.
Have fun.
Sure.
All right,
sweet.
So that was the job you were most disappointed with, Slyh. Again, you're the.
Never mind.
Well,
never mind.
There you go.
Okay, now he's happy with it.
Redacted.
Redacted.
So now, what are you most disappointed with?
Yeah.
Most disappointed with the localization team now, I think.
Oh, gee.
Really, after that, I can't even say anything about being disappointed anymore. That was just my biggest disappointment. Everything else.
Are you joining the bandwagon with White Mage now?
No, fuck that. Still the best overall healer. Like, you just didn't see much of it in
I mean, it
video
depends
stuff.
on what you think of your role as a healer is. If you're one of those people that's like, no, I should only heal, then yeah, arguably, my mage is going to be juicy.
Well, I mean, you know me, I'm a DPS fucking healer. I don't give a shit. Like, but overall, in terms of just pure heals, I still think it's the strongest healer.
Right.
I don't know,
This is-
man.
this is
I
another
don't
case
dig.
where,
I don't
like,
like.
the
I don't
meta-
like any of their. I don't like any of White Mage's systems. I don't like it.
Well,
at
Mike,
all.
Why?
we were talking about the meta and how the meta is going to be absolutely
Meta
smashed.
aside, I just don't like it.
But do you think White Mage is still going to have like a viable place in
Honestly,
Bloodburst?
okay.
Or do you think it's getting the whole samurai treatment of not really having any fucking utility but just fucking healing?
Samurai's utility
Is its
It's
damage?
dick.
That's it.
Yeah, its utility-
Damage.
Little sidebar here. Heavens Wide, everyone's saying Monk had no utility. That is bullshit. They were doing more damage than the
It was
other
like
melee.
50 more points.
Well, Samurai's going to be like that times 10.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's gonna be like
Samurai's
500
doing
more.
So
Yeah.
much fucking deep. So that's its utility. So I just want to nip that in the bud immediately. Anyone that starts going on about Samurai not having utility, I'm saying look at the freaking numbers.
Like, you
Assuming
thought-
that
you
Its
thought
utility.
You thought FF Logs was a shit show before Samurai? Just wait for people
Oh, yeah,
fighting
wait
for
until-
those Samurai
yeah.
FF Logs.
yeah. Again, assuming it doesn't get adjusted, which I
Yeah.
honestly hope it doesn't.
I hope so,
Samurai's
too.
utility is that it uses other people's utility best.
That's like when I played Shaman in WoW and I used Bloodlust. And I go,
Sure.
that DPS is mine.
Yeah. I'll have some of that.
Mhm.
All right.
Um,
No, so White Mage.
yeah.
The
White
biggest
Mage.
problem I have with White Mage is it's so focused around just Cure 1 and Cure 2.
Mhm.
That's my number one concern.
So more that it's boring than that it's
Well,
good.
because like think if you're AoE healing, you're not gonna be casting Cure 1 and Cure 2. Like the tank might always have confession stacks, and for him it's nice.
Mhm.
But I mean, you don't get anything for you. There's no Medica 2, no Cure 3 synergy. The lilies are like cooldown reduction, and you only get lilies with Cure 1 and Cure 2. You only get Asylum and Assize cooldowns with Cure 1 and Cure 2.
Mhm.
It's like, come on now.
Honestly,
So you feel like it's really weak, is what you're saying.
No, I think that without seeing it in fight context, it's hard to judge. And that's the most important thing here is we need to see the context of actual encounters, not us fucking fighting a dummy or level 64 dungeon where we can't even use half the mechanics. So it looks, on the surface, it looks unimpressive.
I like to
However,
say, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
if Cure 1 and Cure 2, if there's a good enough reason to be using those frequently enough, its power goes up dramatically. It still doesn't have a balance like Astro does. It doesn't have a chain stratagem like Scholar does. But maybe you just run one White Mage because it's so OP, and then you just run 5 teams.
I'll say this about White Mage
Okay.
to maybe help comfort some of you White Mages out there if you're really worried. If it turns out it just doesn't work, SE has shown, not only with this expansion that they are listening, but in the past with things like Dark Knight and Astro and Heavensward.
Oh yeah, they listen
it's
with Astro,
fucked-
all right.
A Dragoon in a Realm Reborn, like
Yeah,
all of
if it's fucked up, they will change it.
Okay, it took you 4 patches to get the Dragoon fix. 4.5 patches before you got a Dragoon fix.
Okay, all right, that's a bad example. Warrior. Warrior in 2.0 got fixed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just saying, have a little faith, leave the feedback in the appropriate places,
Yeah.
and they will listen.
Yep.
Yeah,
Don't just be
because I felt like
mad.
they're-
Be constructive.
I felt like they were quick on the changes to kind of Astro and
Yeah, don't be mad, be
3.0.
I just think if you make it so all their healing gives lilies, the problem's gone. Just
So
only being Cure 1 and
something
Cure
like
2.
what about something like Stone 4 giving lilies? What would you think of that?
I'd be fine with that too. I'd be fine with any sort of spell rewarding lilies.
Okay.
Because that increases that pure healer thing, even if you're DPSing.
Right.
All your actions that are focused around lilies are pure healing actions.
Well, so many of the other jobs have these gauges, these bars that are increased by executing any weapon skill.
Mhm.
So maybe the lilies should be focusing at something more similar, or maybe that would be overpowered. Don't know. That's interesting.
I'm just not a fan. In a bubble, the white mage changes are unimpressive to me.
Mm-hmm.
In context, maybe they're more impressive, and they could still change in the next 16 days.
Mm-hmm.
So
overall healer role, combining utility and damage, Scholar still seems to be the OP healer. Are we still at that consensus?
Scholar's AoE damage took a hit because Bane took a massive hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But 20%. Like, as soon as I saw change stratagem, I put it all together. I was like, Monk with internal release, change stratagem on the boss, and battle litany. I was just like, and then you have a bard in the party. That's like almost
Pretty
every
good.
weapon skill is critting.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous how much you do.
Enhanced bounce on a samurai.
Yeah, that's gonna be dangerous.
Goodbye.
That's going to be scary.
Well,
Yeah,
I was talking about Scholar with the Bane change, just looking at chat. Summoner, Summoners, that's a hell of a
Summoner's
lot.
going to be fine. Summoner is going to be...
That's why in all my
just
videos,
fine.
I tried not to talk about potency because it's so subject to change. Every number is
of
subject
course.
to change.
But when we talk about Dragoon, like all those fucking potency changes, like their potency pretty much went up. I don't think I saw anything go down except for fucking Doom Spike, and that's AoE, and I really don't give a shit about that. But yeah, like overall, like I don't know about you at this. I'm pretty
You've got
fucking
no
happy.
more phlebotomize, so a lot of it is to make up for because a lot of people don't like phlebotomize was one of the most potent dots in the game, I believe.
Right.
It's pretty
10
big.
samurai
Second to
happened.
Scourge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. 1,000 potency.
That's
It's over 60 seconds though.
Yeah.
Just means you don't have to do it.
But it's still one GCD.
That means you'll do it like 10
it's still
times
one
a
GCD
fight.
for 1,000 potency.
Yeah. If only Kaiten worked on the dot component and not just the initial hit.
Oh my god, please. Please.
So you guys want to get into your Dragoon conversation, Sly? Since it seems like that's where you're going next.
Absolutely. Yeah, like really, I was mainly looking at the changes too. But when I saw the tooltips and all the potency increases, and you're right, it's probably due to lack of phlebotomize, which I'm not too pissed about. I don't know about you. I'm not really that pissed about losing phlebotomize. Well, some people say it was like thought it was a crutch in their opinion. I was like, well, it's still a fucking dot. It's still one of the most useful dots in the fucking game. I don't really have any concerns. I don't have any concerns with the changes. Again,
So how do you feel? First of all, how do you feel having a 5-tier combo?
like Jesus.
So let's be clear about this. So Fang and Claw or Wheeling Thrust can be procced first. It's just one will automatically combo into the other every time.
Right.
So you don't feel bad about this?
Why?
I don't know. I guess it means your full thrusts are coming less often.
Sorry, I dropped something.
Is in essence, is that really a bad trade-off though?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's worth it.
And what do you make of Life of the Dragon? Did you manage to get your head around that? Because the tooltips for this are pretty shocking. I'm not gonna lie.
Still couldn't wrap my head around Life of the Dragon. It seems to be only to use Nastron, and I don't see any other benefit other than
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean,
Nastron.
only Nastron. I mean, it's a 320 potency
potency.
AOE that you can use every 10 seconds.
Yeah, sure.
So you get
So effectively, what's happening with Dragoon now, just to help people wrap their head around Life of the Dragon, is when you've got Blow the Dragon up and you use Jump or Spine Shatter Dive, you proc one of these Eyes of the Rude, right? When you get 4 of those, the next Gear Goggle that you use converts your Blood of the Dragon at whatever time that it's currently at, which should be pretty much 30 seconds now that Gear Goggle does not cost Blood of the Dragon whatsoever. And you'll just have used, you'll be using, like I say, Fang and Claw and Whirling Thrust back to back. So it should be at 30 seconds. Next time you hit Gear Goggle, it will reset it'll basically reset your Gear Goggle timer to Nastrond, the 10-second cooldown, and it'll convert your current Blood of the Dragon time to Life of the Dragon, which will give you, like I say, about 30 seconds. So you can get off 3 Nastrons in that time, and then when that ends, you go back automatically to 15 seconds of Blood of the Dragon and basically start working back towards it again with your jumps and Spine Shadow dives.
So with this, there should be, like, I feel like, one, there should be no fucking reason you lose BOTD.
No, there's no reason to lose Blood of the Dragon unless you've got downtime, because nothing detracts from it, nothing costs any. And the Blood of the Dragon cooldown itself has been reduced to 30 seconds.
And
I did misspeak a little bit there. When you use jump or Spine Shadow dive, it procs Mirage dive, which is another off global cooldown.
It gives you dive ready. Yeah,
it's that thing that we spit out a dragon or whatever the fuck it is, and then that and then that gives us the eye.
And not only that, we got new utility in the form of Dragon Sight. Which is basically...
That's so weird.
It's very weak. It's 10%. 10% for us. 5% for a target, provided they're within 60 arms of us.
So it's probably only going to be, more than likely, only going to be another melee.
It means that you better be standing between the flank and the rear, you piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be or it's going to be the off tank on the rear, basically.
Yeah. You think they could have bumped this up, kind of reminiscent to what we have for Lit, where it's basically like a 15 yalm? You think they should have done that?
No, I think it's good because it's encouraging synergy between melees. It's encouraging double melee builds, which might be... Actually, I was going to say that might be less popular now, but then, Samurai.
No, dude, it's going to be... No, so here it is. You ready for this? It's going to be
obligatory.
Samurai, Dragoon, or Samurai Monk, one of the two. Red Mage, and I can't figure out the last one. Because Red Mage fits in an all-physical comp because of Embolden.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I reckon Red Mage...
Yeah, no, fucking... There you go. Monk, Dragoon, Samurai... fucking Red Mage. There you go.
So a 3 melee comp.
Perfect.
I would fucking love to see a 3 melee comp. That would be amazing.
That monk would be going insane.
Yeah.
That would be a really, really happy monk. By the way, Haps, we talked about this a little bit, I think, while we're still in San Fran. I didn't think that the monk in combat, I didn't think it really felt all that different. I think
out of almost exactly the same.
It had probably the least amount of changes.
Yeah, welcome to 3.0 all over again. They're like, oh, you wanted utility? Here you go.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And then brushed everything else aside.
But like Monk from A Realm Reborn to now, it doesn't really feel any different in its rotation. It just has some utility.
No. It feels...
That's not a bad thing.
I mean, removing Touch of Death is kind of a significant change because that really was just kind of clunky in the middle.
Well, it was just the same as removing full bottomized. It just makes it flow
or anything else. Exactly. But other than that, no, it's just same as it's been. But the thing is, the way I see Monk, you don't really need to fix what isn't broken. It has a really, really smooth rotation, and I'm okay with it staying the way it is.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that.
Just wait till you hit that Brotherhood, man. Just wait. It's just...
And then you get that enhanced arrow to get your speed back.
How about you shut your mouth? Oh. How about you give me a balance, you fucking guy, you? If I'm going to have to take goad and give it to the fucking samurai...
Well, no.
Taking goad and giving it to me.
You're going to want the enhanced arrow, because if you have Brotherhood up, the faster you attack,
Faster
more.
everyone attacks.
That's a good point, actually.
I want a spread arrow so everyone's attacking faster.
There you go. There you go.
They're never gonna do. No, never gonna convince an Astro to do that.
And then we can all give each other goad. It'll be perfect.
The
Have a
goad.
goad
Yeah, if you bring
right?
triple melee, you have the goad triangle.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
You
No, I'm not
piece of
doing
shit.
that. I'm
Then I'm not going to bring one
Alright,
for
don't
you.
raid with
Alright.
Ethys, guys. He doesn't want to bring
Fucking
goad.
raid with you.
Piece of shit right here.
No, come to Sombre, raid with me on 400 ping. It'll be good. It'll be great. You're all invited. All of you.
Okay. I'll boost your character.
All right, sweet, dude.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
we'll boost the character. Oh man.
Merri, did you get to play with Dragoon much? 'Cause
No.
I know you dabble.
Yeah, no. I did not touch it.
No.
I hopped on it and I hit the sprint button. I was like, oh, it sprints kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then I hopped off it.
Wow, that's impressive.
This is the problem I had in San Fran for I think all the jobs is, again, we were coming in, like, people were telling us, oh, you're going to have to, like, relearn everything. And we were like, no, come on. We've been
No.
playing this game for years. We're professional. It'll be great.
Yeah.
And then, like, we switch to the job. We look at the bars and we're like, oh.
What?
Like, it took a long time to get our head around each of these things. And everyone in the chat, you guys need to keep in mind that we didn't spend all that much time with each of these jobs. A lot of the tooltips are still kind of really, like, iffy. There's no way that we had time to sort of create optimized rotations or whatever. So
Oh, yeah.
everything that we're saying, like, take it with a pinch of salt.
How long do you
I'd
think
like
it's
to
going
point out one. Sorry, this goes back to Dragoon though, Slyh. So you probably like this. Yeah, chat's been pointing this out. I've been meaning to say this for the last 10 minutes. You know they're not random anymore for wheeling thrust and fang and claw, right?
Yeah, we knew that. So
I'm pretty sure they're random.
Mm-mm. It's always
No,
the same
they're
one
not.
off full thrust. It's always the same one off chaos thrust now.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay. Yeah. You're right. I'm wrong. You see what I mean?
There you go.
Case in point.
Yeah,
so how
rule-
long?
Yeah.
So with like, quick question with these changes, how long do you think is going to take pretty much everyone, not only the newer players, but yourselves or ourselves, to adjust to everything?
A couple of days.
A couple of
Yeah.
days.
I think it depends. I think bards will have an interesting time readjusting and then adjusting to their new songs. Because bard and machinist really did change the most of all of them. Like, I look at Dragoon, I'm like, great, you got Life of the Dragon. I look at Monk, I was like, great, I got Riddle of Fire and Brotherhood. I look at Ninja. Tenchi Jin is going to take a lot of adjusting, but otherwise I don't think it's that bad. I think Ninja might have been the one that changed the most of the melees.
I reckon Ninja's going to have the hardest opener from now.
Dude, Tenchi Jin has so many rules and regulations. It's unbelievable.
Fucking mess.
You can't move. You can't use weapon skills or abilities.
Yep.
It does double potency on all the ninjutsu, which means that if you don't... single target Doton, I don't know. Like, are you going to sweet on before the Tenchi Jin? Are you going to do the sweet on at the end of the Tenchi Jin? And then are you going to Doton for the double potency Doton in the Tenchi Jin?
Yeah, there's going to be a lot to work out there.
And then on top of that, you have Baba Kakra, you have the fucking frog. Hide resets your cooldowns now on ninjutsu for dungeons, which is amazing.
awesome.
It also means you don't have to do
It's
a
so
20-second
good.
countdown for ninjas anymore. Before you pull, you could just Huton hide and then go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, it's fantastic. I really liked Ninja. Tenchi Jin, though, if you fuck it up, it's awful.
It's pretty
If
brutal.
you bunny, you just sit there helpless for
Yeah.
5 seconds.
So, well,
It's,
Well, there goes your other penalty, quote unquote.
no, literally, you're ruined. Like,
Yeah.
so the bunny takes 5 seconds to wear off, in which case you can't move because Tenchi Jin has you locked down. So you have to wait for the bunny to go before you can use any weapon skills, any abilities, or even move.
yeah.
I can't wait to see it.
Rage quit. You've uninstalled the game.
Yeah, delete character.
Like written a suicide note or something, probably.
So you want to know something funny? Chat's talking about how Riddle of Fire for Monk said it was 15% attack speed and 30% damage. I thought that's what it said on the English tooltip. Apparently it doesn't. It has it the other way around. So I read it correctly, even though it was incorrect.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, Merri, you put out a pretty detailed video about Samurai.
I did.
Give it to me straight, Merri. Walk me off the ledge, please.
So
Please.
let's hit some of the core points first. Samurai, contrary to what a lot of people were thinking, is, in my opinion, the most mobile of all of the melee. They have both a gap closer and a backstep on a 10-second cooldown. Very cheap cost to use them, so you can just zip all over the place. Doubled up with sprint. Samurai, if you want to be somewhere, you can be somewhere. It's very.
You can't open with a gap closer, can you?
You can.
Oh, really?
Well, so not in like maybe not in a raid setting, but
I'm
like
saying in a raid setting.
In a raid setting, no.
You have to sprint.
Yeah, sprinting.
You'd have to sprint.
That's going to be frustrating. Like as a Dragoon, looking at that, as a Dragoon, like playing around with that, I was like, yeah, you know what? It's awesome. I get a dash, I get a back step, but I don't get to open with it in my raid, and that's just going to irk me for some reason.
Yeah, I suppose a little bit.
Meditate
Still,
can't be used out of combat.
I'm the guy that when I open
meditate can't be used
with when I open with one of my dives, I actually do like a little jump before I do it because it just makes me feel like I'm going higher and further. So
yeah, there you go.
It's just a personal neurosis, I guess.
Mm.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt.
No, that's fine. So very mobile. 2, the cast bars, honestly, not very obtrusive. A lot of people are like, oh, it's cast bars and all that stuff. They're very few and far in between. And the big thing I found with the cast bars, they're so satisfying. It's so satisfying. Like, just, the animation, everything about it. So, like, just speaking, like, aesthetically, it's just cool. You fucking sheath your katana. It's, like, charging up. You do this crazy fucking samurai shit. It's cool. It's cool.
It feels really weighty as well.
Yes, it feels like it has impact, and it does, because it's fucking 720 potency when you do 3-7. That's a hard-hitting ability.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, the cast bars feel good. You can interrupt them. You can move as soon as it's done. There's no animation lock whatsoever.
That was a big thing for you, too.
Yeah.
Them not having animation lock.
Yeah, a lot of people were like, oh, you're going to be stuck in animation. Like, nope. Like, you can, like, the cast bar can be finishing, and then you can just move as it's going off. Like, perfectly fine. So it's good. It's really good. I was in love. And I haven't been in love with a melee since Monk in, like, 2.0.
So,
not that they're saying much, but...
And the AoE is ridiculous.
Their AoE is absurd. Their single target is absurd.
So the big thing that people are talking about with Samurai right now, they have no raid utility.
No raid
They
utility.
got shoved into the monk
That's my
slot.
one beef.
Don't get me started on that again.
We're bringing it back.
Well, we're gonna bring it back, and I will echo Ethys. So here's the thing with Samurai. In 3.0, well, as we all know, Monk was, touted as, it's got good single target, but no utility. The thing is, Monk was on more or less the same page as some other DPS. Like, Black Mage could get pretty close to a Monk in terms of just single target DPS. And so they weren't far and above, and that their lack of utility wasn't made up for in DPS. Samurai, on the other hand, it seems to have absolutely absurd numbers. Its DPS is going to be through the fucking roof compared to other jobs. And so its lack of utility is being made up for in actual DPS this time. Like, an actual tangible difference in DPS. It's not like, Monk's kind of better. Samurai is very visibly just, the potencies are fucking just like way and above everything else.
Mm-hmm. And Burning Skull makes a point in chat saying that people saying the same thing about Dragoon in Realm Reborn, is that its utility was its DPS, but Monk was still doing more DPS than Dragoon was, and having a much easier time doing it. Well, so it's a completely different ballpark.
Well, one of the other things was Monk was your progression rating job in A Realm Reborn, and then once you didn't need Dragon Kick to survive anymore, you switched to Dragoon because it was the piercing debuff, which we kind of glanced over with Dragoon earlier. It is still the sole source of the piercing debuff, and the piercing debuff was buffed to 20%.
Wait, disembowel?
Yeah, the Japanese tooltips read 20. I mean, it's all changing
Right, well,
every fucking week.
I'm looking at the English tooltip and it's still saying 10.
Yeah,
So
the Japanese tooltip
that's-
says 20.
the tooltip, guys, the tooltip, again, I'm sure they're going to be absolutely fine on the 16th, or I hope they're going to be absolutely fine. But the tooltips, when we saw them in the build that we saw, were kind of a fucking mess.
Yeah, I think we can't honestly look at any of these values as legitimate.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them make sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's all fucked. So I'm just gonna wait till June 16th. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it. I don't care.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
now, Merri, I have a oh shit question, and this is probably gonna hit samurai users pretty fucking hard, but it's
Okay.
a small possibility. But do you think maybe 4.1, 4.2, worst case scenario, samurai gets a nerf?
Honestly, I don't see that happening simply because of the fact that they have pushed samurai into this corner of you have to do X amount of DPS to make up for the fact that you're bringing fucking nothing to the party. So you need to keep this.
I can't
If
wait
they
till
get
they
rid
get
of
a
it,
buff.
If they get rid of it,
That's-
they'll be fucked.
That'll be overkill, though, Happy. That's
No,
gonna
no,
be way.
No, because people are gonna say the same thing, so they're
You
gonna push it
the
even
number of
higher.
fucking monk buffs we've had.
Monthly monk buffs.
Yeah.
I'm getting like a weekly buff.
Mm.
So Merri, you say that the prerequisite for your rate position as a samurai is going to be you need to do X amount of DPS. But looking at it, it doesn't look like a particularly demanding job or a particularly difficult rotation. Like it certainly looks easier than
Baseline, yes, but I'd say it has a high skill ceiling.
You reckon it's got a higher skill ceiling than the
Yeah.
other melees?
I'd
Okay.
say so.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree with that. That's what I thought from the beginning.
Mhm.
Okay.
For me, I'm still. I know it's going to surprise a lot of people. I'm kind of, as much as I want to play monk, I'd be okay with playing bard. I was very
Bard looks
happy.
great.
I was
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was incredibly car. I was incredibly satisfied with how Bard played.
Well, I was really happy with Bard and Hems. What I thought it played much better than the
I
Roman
agree.
one.
I actually
But even-
preferred
it's even
3.x's Bard
Yeah.
over 2.x's.
Oh, yeah,
But
infinite.
the thematical change to being focused around your songs,
Yeah, it
resonates
feels
with me.
like a Bard. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really, really nice.
Yeah.
Basically, you should be able to keep your songs up pretty much all the fucking time.
I hated Bard because I was forced to play it. And I wanted anything to get away from it.
So you went to Machinist.
No. So then I went to Ninja,
Ninja.
and then
Yeah.
I wanted
Oh,
to play
you were
Monk,
forced.
and then I
you
got
were
forced on
to
the
play.
Machinist. So it was
Yeah,
the
that's
same
right. You
boat.
were forced to Machinist.
But I liked
Yeah.
Machinist a lot more than Bard in 3.x,
Mhm.
personally.
I don't know about that.
But for me, like, most impressed by Bard. I don't know how they'll fare DPS wise, but
I still think they'll
I loved
be.
it.
I still think they'll be in a good position DPS wise, even with all with the added utility and you having songs up pretty much.
Well, they don't have any damage.
24/7.
They don't have any damage reduction on anything anymore. You know, they have a permanent 2% critical hit buff for the party. They have the 15% direct hit buff.
Mhm.
They have foes, which who the fuck knows what it's actually supposed to say on it because translations are all over the place. And then they just have so much like weaving of abilities, just constantly weaving. It's so satisfying.
So here's the big thing with that, though, and with Machinist as well. What this kind of does, and it goes back to the whole idea of mixing up the meta,
Mhm.
you more or less no longer need a Bard or Machinist. It's not like they have to be a
Listen,
guaranteed
if I'm gonna play Red Mage,
role.
please bring a Bard, because Red Mage has no built-in MP regeneration. You have to cross roll your MP regeneration.
Well, yeah.
So please
They're
bring
one
a
refresh.
Bard and bring refresh, please.
I mean, obviously some jobs will synergize well, but it's not like it's no longer like this static slot is 100% necessary to be a Bard or Machinist for MP song or for not TP song, but for foes or whatever else. Like
Mm-hmm.
they've kind of started to pull it away from support DPS and more into just a DPS role, and everyone kind of has.
It does
support.
feel like you could take 4 melees and your only problem would be dealing with mechanics, basically.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like
They
synergy
basically-
wise, it would be possible. It'd be fine.
They took the support out of the core jobs themselves and put it all in the cross
See,
class, basically.
look at this shit.
Yeah.
The English tooltip for foes says it decreases the damage enemies deal. The Japanese tooltip says the enemies take 3% more damage. I don't know what the fuck to believe.
Koji!
Kill me now. I mean, to be
Please,
fair,
please
3%.
continue to speculate.
It sounds
Spatula.
like the localization team is having a really hard time. I was asking Yoshida about Moogle delivery quests. He's like, "Oh yeah, we got a bunch of them ready to go in Japanese. The localization is so far behind on it." I was like, "Oh, Koji." Oh. And of course, he wasn't at San Francisco. He's probably
Yep.
You mean
Working.
custom deliveries? I thought you said
Wait.
Moogle deliveries for a second.
no.
Custom
That's what I
deliveries.
said.
No,
I thought you said
Moogle, the Moogle mail.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
the
Moogle
Moogle.
mail
Yeah,
quests.
the
Yeah.
Moogle mail quest, Moogle delivery. Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah. So it's gonna be tough. Merri, I was going to ask you. So you've converted from tank to melee DPS, and you've done it because Samurai looks so good. Is there anything on the tank side that you were like, good riddance, or are you sort of looking at it and being like, oh?
So
my
Dark Knight has me a little like sad I'm going away from tanking.
Why is that?
Yeah.
So I was a warrior main for most of Heaven's Ward, and near the end I started playing a lot of Dark Knight. I've been playing a lot of Dark Knight. And the Dark Knight changes honestly seem really cool. A lot of people are like saying, "Oh, I'm so worried about Dark Knight," but I have no idea what they're talking about. Dark Knight seems
Which
really
changes?
cool.
Which changes are you looking at?
Specifically, so like the whole idea of the synergy with your MP regeneration, also generating like all this crazy amount of your gauge, and then using your gauge to do these like really fucking dark fell cleave, basically.
Mhm.
They
Yeah.
basically gave Dark Knight a fell cleave, and
But-
it just
but
it's,
Merri-
it's satisfying.
Can he do it 6 times in a row?
That's I don't. The practicality of that is not incredibly high.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm just saying that
It can
like,
fell cleave
people
and
look at
tank.
it- Fine, but that's fucking awesome. But people are looking at Dark Knight and they've been hearing, and I know that Layla was talking about it,
Mhm.
just a couple of hours ago.
Yeah.
But they're looking at that and being like, all right, that's all well and good, but I saw 4 fell cleaves in a row, and I know they could do more. What do you say to that?
I mean, it's I did 6.
Yeah, so did
I
I.
did 6,
So did
and it
I.
felt great, but it just honestly,
it doesn't
it's-
seem feasible.
it's feeling more and more like Warriors turning into a fucking DPS is what it
Right.
feels like.
But
Wasn't it already a DPS to begin with?
Yeah,
Dude, it was
was.
the best tank
Less
healer,
DPS
DPS,
now.
support, ranged,
It was.
melee, physical, caster.
It was.
yeah, top tomahawk spam, you were doing more than the bud.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it seems that at the moment Warriors actually doing less DPS at 290 than it was at 270, right?
I think that's well, because everything's kind of like being pulled back
Mhm.
as far as tank
Mhm.
DPS goes.
Mhm.
So that it does seem like tanks in general across the board are just doing
Do you
less.
think Dark Knight is going to be competing with Warrior for the big DPS off tank?
I think it'll be close. It
Okay.
might not take over Warrior, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than it was before.
So I'd like to address. I'm really happy they addressed Warrior off tank by giving them an off global cooldown that scales with current health. I think they did an excellent job getting Warrior out of the off tank role by making them do more damage when they have more health.
But
Warrior's
are they?
like, I'm sorry,
Are
what
they
was
going to
that?
be a main tank though? Like, is that
Yeah.
sufficient to earn them the main tank
That was
slot?
that was complete sarcasm.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
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 So-
yeah.
So it's safe to say that, like, because last week when we were talking about it and we were talking about the job actions and everything, the trailer, we weren't that impressed with how it looked. I mean, it did look awesome, but we just didn't know anything. So it's safe to say that
But
it
you-
pretty much appeased you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was your nose, so.
Wow.
Thanks. But
That's
I can
fine.
agree.
Don't boop his. It's kind of boo boo.
I can agree. Like tanks, I feel like tanks now have more of a shared identity than anything.
Mhm.
Well,
Look at Paladin.
Paladin's definitely a tank.
Paladin's out there doing its own thing right now.
Yeah.
It's closer than it was. It was before. Put it like that. It's a lot closer than it was before.
A little bit. Yeah. In a sense, yes.
Yeah, I just feel like they went really ham on balance in terms of a lot of jobs. Like balance was the key to a lot of these jobs, especially tanks. I feel like tanks got the most quote unquote balance out of all the roles.
Dark Knights was kind of weird for me because the main thing with Dark Knight is that their gauge, unlike the other two tanks, doesn't go up and down when they like switch stances or anything. It's just like one concurrent build, whereas the other two are all about dancing between the two of them.
Yeah.
At the same time, you have Blood Price being grid only, you have Blood Weapon, being out of grid only.
Yeah.
You got to go back and forth between the two if you want to be effective. So I'm curious about that. For me, it's all about Paladin. Paladin is
But Mike, Paladin's got no gap closer.
honestly, that's almost as disappointing as Keen Flurry being gone.
Don't you joke about Keen Flurry, all right?
God fucking damn it, Mike.
Don't you?
That wound is still
Too
fresh.
soon.
Have some
Too
respect.
soon. Exactly.
You know how messed up our English tooltips were? Delirium says it increases blood weapon and blood weapons duration.
Yeah, I know it does.
I figured out that it was blood price before seeing the fixed tooltips because I was like, well, obviously that's wrong.
Yeah.
But
Blood price is the longer one, and
yeah,
blood weapons is shorter.
I can't believe.
You all right? You okay? You okay, buddy?
this is
Time
round.
to start talking about Keen Flurry.
Can I get an F in the chat for Keen Flurry?
I'll be all right.
Get a K.
Yeah, get a K.
K.
Get a K for Keen Flurry.
Yeah.
You just had to. I thought I was past it. I thought I'd put it behind me.
You thought you could parry? You thought you could parry your emotions?
I thought I could parry my emotions away, but then I realized there's no more Keen Flurry.
Feels bad.
Well, there's an
man.
F on a grave. Perfect.
There you go. Okay.
That's the flurry.
Yeah. So with tanks, I don't know. I'm in love with Paladin. I think it's fucking sick.
I suppose we can touch a
leaning
little bit on
more.
What's up, Fly? Sly?
Yeah, I'm leaning a little more.
Fly.
Yeah, fly.
Fly.
Fly to socks. Fly to socks.
Slide up.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm leaning a little
Fly
more
to
towards
socks.
Yeah, that's what Ethys calls
can't
it.
We had that joke like 3 years ago.
Yeah, pretty much. Like that's been in rotation. Yeah, I'm leaning a little bit more towards Dark Knight more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
I hope to see
Dark
Dark
Knight
Knight
seems
pulling out them
dope.
big dick deeps.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dark cleave.
Good old Fly the Socks.
Edge cleave.
There you go.
Fell
And
edge.
also, we haven't even discussed if we don't know if they've buffed or nerfed the damage buff on Dark Knight for wearing a suit black dye.
That's right.
We don't know about that yet.
That's right. Well, I know, but I have my
You guys
sources,
were
I
like
can't.
ready to take it so serious. You were all listening so
They've
carefully.
released another like special Mog Station die because they
From
realized
Dark Knight.
this black one's just too accessible and they like really need to milk it.
Mhm.
It's called like Abyss Black or something like that, I think.
There you go. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Healers. This is we talked about this kind of a little bit earlier, but we pretty much only talked about White Mage.
Man, fuck White Mage.
Wow.
Delete black and white mage, really?
That's
Is that
racist.
gonna be the thing?
That's like the
well,
most
We have red mage now. We don't need either.
that's like the most
Yeah, we
not
don't need 'em.
racist
That's
thing
what they
I've
can
ever
do
said.
blue. Red Mage does both. Delete Black Mage, delete White Mage.
Yeah.
That's what they did after the War of the Magi. They got together and they were like, oh,
Delete
shit,
them.
delete them, get rid of them. And then people like, 500 years later were like, oh, look at this White Mage and Black Mage thing. And the Red Mages are up in Girabanya in a Blathius spot, just being like,
Yeah, you know what their party comp looked like?
Right?
Their party comp was like 8 red mages.
See,
And when one died, they just raised them up back up.
the Red Mages are looking at Black Mage and White Mage right now the way that I look at people who are streaming Final Fantasy 11. It's like, yeah, is that right? Having fun?
It's a good game.
All right,
Yeah,
calm down.
all right.
Mary.
All right. I'm sorry.
Call me when you're ready for 2017.
Oh man. Yeah, calm
But-
down, Merri.
I'm good. I'm okay. I'm okay.
So Astro, their balance is the same.
Strong.
How did they leave balance the same?
Why not?
It's so strong.
Why fix something that isn't broken?
Exactly.
It's so balanced.
It is balanced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's the
Why
very
didn't I see
different
that?
balanced.
Why didn't I see that joke coming?
It's broken as fuck. It's so fucking.
Yeah,
broken.
in terms of the cards, really the only cards that got to change were the Ear and Inspire. They're now pretty much AoE.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't know if the tooltips were taken when they had Royal Road.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, all right, whatever. That's just weird. Then what happens when you Royal Road the fucking, like, you know?
Not a damn.
That's just
Not a fucking damn.
nothing. It's just like, oh, we'll cut the potency in half and it's more AoE. Whatever.
And then one thing that really concerned me until I saw Hyper was just the cooldown on light speed.
Yeah. Light speed's what, 2.5 minutes now without any procs?
Yeah, without any procs. But again, you're gonna get procs with Benefit 2, so that's
sure.
probably not even gonna be the issue. So I kind of calmed down from there too, because light speed was probably that was really my oh fuck button. Everything's about to go to shit, and when I started cooling down, I'm like, wait, and then I saw hyper light speed. So never mind.
Well, the good news for Astro is that now you no longer just toss away cards. There's no reason to just toss away a card. Pull the Lord of the Lady.
Yeah.
Like, why would you ever throw
plus
away
you
a card?
Plus, you can stack the deck every 2 minutes.
Stacking the deck's pretty satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Astro has just been like, hang on, there's no dealer here. There's no one watching. Why don't I just
Cheat.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, like, all the way through Heaven's Ward, I'm like, can you really not just, like, pull out the card that you want? I mean, like, if we think about this realistically, Astro's just like, no, I'm
I mean,
play. But
stacking the deck doesn't let you do it.
Themselves, you know what I mean?
You still
It's
can't
like,
cheat with stacking the deck that bad.
You don't cheat. You could probably there are some Astros.
You're gonna pull a fucking spear, and draw a spire, spread a spire, fucking AoE, get a fucking Royal Road spire effect, and then pull the lady and hate yourself.
Yeah.
Why can't the Astro just like stock their entire card deck with all balances? Like,
So you know what's weird? It looks like they undid pre-pulling on every job except for Astro. Like Ninja doesn't need the 20-second countdown anymore. Warrior can't infuriate out of combat. You can't
Yeah.
meditate. Everything's in combat except for cards, where you
The devs
still
are
gotta
tired
sit
of
around
waiting.
for the fucking balance to get pulled.
Yeah, they were tired of waiting.
Well, now the new strat on fights that aren't like, if you don't have to worry about enraged timer, you just pull and everyone gets their bar up before you start.
Rip Reno. Rip or fuck. Oh yeah, Dark Knight can sit there to fill the.
So we have to pop Chubba the Dragon, like, immediately before pull. Does that count as pre-pull?
No.
Wait, do
That's
we
like
really?
nothing.
Okay, and I wanted to ask, we didn't really
That's
cover this.
on
Do we
pull.
really have to do that now?
I mean, why not?
Yeah,
You could start the
because
fight
then-
with 2 eyes immediately.
Exactly. So you if you proc it, if you hit it immediately before Spine Shatter Dive, then you start with an eye, then you go heavy thrust, and you can go straight into jump. Basically.
Well,
So you
wait,
start-
is there enough Blood of the Dragon timer for you to do all that?
Yeah, it's just enough. You'll get like
Is it-
1 second. You get 1 second for the
Yeah,
ultimate.
because that's why I said it's free.
One
It's cutting,
second to refresh
it's
it.
cutting, it's cutting it pretty close.
Yeah, if
especially
you have
with
any
people
latency,
who-
you're fucked.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Good
Yeah,
old
maybe.
fucking PS4. Yeah.
No, I'm thinking about Ethys.
Yeah, but well, if you're having trouble with latency, the alternative is to open with Dragonfire.
Because
And then-
like, I don't know about you at this. Our rotation, like, I experience a little bit of clipping in terms of the opener. Not even a little
Yeah,
bit.
a little bit.
Quite a little bit. Just a tad.
Just a little bit.
tad. Just a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, no, a fuck ton of clipping in terms of our opener. So yeah, that scene, popping blood with latency.
It's scary. It's
It's
scary.
scary as fuck.
Blood before Spine Shatter Dives the opener is fucking terrifying on 0 ping.
Yeah, have fun with that.
So
I'm
we're
not
gonna
gonna
have
do that.
to. I'm gonna have to stack a bit of skill speed to make sure that I'm feeling safe. I'm feeling Gucci.
And that feels shitty that you have to stack skill speed to
I
kind
don't
of
think so.
But then you go fast
fight
like
the
Samick.
latency.
I've always
But
had to do it because of my latency. I've always had to stack slightly more skill speed than anyone else to make up for the latency. It's not a big deal. Anyway, sorry to go back to Dragoon.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that. But
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
that's-
technically, when you talk about Astral cards, it all comes back to the DPS.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. Earthly Star is so much fun.
Oh god, yes.
Like, that was the only thing. Because this fucknut over here, Merri, and everyone else who was in my dungeon group
Fuck no. Really?
did not want to heal. So I had to
I don't know how
go
to
for a dungeon.
heal.
You fucking press the cure button. That's how
Listen,
You don't know how to heal.
Listen, if you really wanted to swap, you should have been like, but you should have just forced us. Be like,
I
listen, I
looked
healed
at
this
all
one.
of you, and Layla was ignoring me. Layla's just like, maybe if I don't respond.
Everyone was having a pretty hard time in that dungeon, I think. I was pulling aggro off Miz, and I was like,
We had a lot of aggro issues on our dungeon, too.
it's true, yeah.
It didn't help that Samurai was literally hitting for like 20k. Pretty
Yeah, it doesn't help. that
We
you
had
just-
2 samurai too.
Yeah.
We had
the
two
first
Samurai, and
run.
the second one was Samurai Red Mage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but
But-
okay. And then you have Scholar. This job just, it's like the monk of the healers, except that it's like actually good. Where they just don't really change it. They just keep giving it more.
So it's like the Monkey Healers, but it's not.
It's
yeah.
it's just Scholar. It's just always been
Scholar is
Scholar,
just,
yeah.
what I
Yeah.
mean is
Yeah.
like they never really give it like major changes.
Why fix what's broken?
Oh, that's
What's
that's
not
what
broken.
you mean.
Not
That's what you mean.
Why
Like,
fix what's
not
broken?
Because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
broken.
Yeah, pretty much. But like Scholar never really had any fucking issues to begin with.
Man, that's the point. They just keep giving it more shit. They gave it a fucking 20% crit buff / debuff. So, okay, can somebody give me the Japanese tooltip for fucking chain stratagem so I don't start talking about it?
I haven't got it, but it looks ridiculous in English, doesn't it? It's like, really?
Yeah,
Excuse me,
it makes them take 20. According to the English tooltip, it increases the rate at which they receive critical hits by 20%. Knowing the Japanese tooltip, it's gonna fucking decrease the rate at which they do critical hits by 20. Like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, and like Chad saying, the only thing that really concerned me about Scholar was the nerf to Bane. That kind of hurt my feelings a little bit.
I think it's a big deal.
It's like, just imagine the monk with the 30%
adds
from
up, though.
internal release and the 20% from the chain strategy. It just sounds so good.
2% from Bard. It's crit.
Yeah, you're
Crit's
right.
crit.
There you
So
go.
let's talk about Scholar AoE. Has Scholar AoE
Oh, dude,
like
Bane was
when it comes down to it?
annihilated.
I know that, but when it really comes down to it, are they going to be doing like significantly
Oh
less
yeah.
damage?
So
Yeah.
right now, Scholar has Arrow. They have Blizzard 2. That's
Mhm.
cross class. Blizzard 2 is your filler skill on, I think it's 4 targets. I think for 4 targets it's Blizz 2. Bane being the way it is now. Shadow Flare also has 50% uptime now instead of 100% uptime.
Okay.
So yeah, Scholar pretty much has no AoE damage now.
Well, you just gotta take a samurai with you.
There you go.
Exactly. Or 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No
do you think
miasma
this
too?
was?
Nothing.
So do you think this was balanced in the worst possible way?
No, I think they did that on purpose. Because
I think they did it on purpose because I think all the DPS are getting like better AoE for the most part.
Yeah.
they want your DPS to be the ones AoEing your shit, not your healers. I think that's
Yeah.
pretty apparent.
Yeah.
The thing is, Summoner also
But
suffers
it feels
from-
kind of shitty.
Summoner also suffers from that Bane debuff, but they still have Pain Flare, they still have Death Flare, they still have Akmorn. You know, they
Yeah.
have all that. Enkindle is on a way shorter cooldown, so yeah.
But it feels kind of shitty for a DPS healer to have a little bit less in terms of
They got Broil too,
it.
though.
Hooray!
Hooray!
Well, that's
Yeah,
that's
they're still
the
doing
thing though.
DPS.
They're not.
JP Bane is different from you. I don't fucking know anymore. I give up.
They're trying to.
Merri, the scholar was doing more AoE DPS than like melee DPS were.
According to the Japanese Bane, it wasn't nerfed to the way it says in the English one.
Okay.
Well,
there you go.
So we know absolutely nothing today.
Yeah. All right. See you, everyone.
There you
Yeah.
go. Nope, Bane wasn't
Great
nerfed.
show,
guys.
everyone.
Shut the fuck up. Bane wasn't nerfed. We can leave that alone now. Just fuck it. Fuck it.
damn it.
All the English
Fuck
tooltips.
everything we
why did
say.
Why
God
did
damn
I? This is why I didn't put any tooltips in my fucking videos because I knew this shit was gonna fucking happen.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah, there's an option that we haven't entertained is because NA keeps winning the world first races. Maybe they're not different tooltips. Maybe they're different actions. And the Japanese are actually just getting all these buffs to make sure that they're competitive. Shh. Don't let them know. We know.
Oh my god. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know anymore,
you're gonna
man.
get us in trouble.
I don't know anymore, man. These tooltips are all different. I don't trust anything. I'm waiting until June 16th, guys. Fuck it.
Yeah. I
Get
get
the
That's
it.
it.
spatula back.
I don't fucking know what to believe anymore. Someone's gonna say Japanese tooltip is one way and English tooltip's the other way. Fuck it. Just wait till
It's going to
June
turn
16th.
out that like the German one is actually the only correct one.
I'm gonna start using that now when like moving forward.
Please
If
continue
I
to
fuck up,
spatula.
if I fuck up, I'm be like, well, the Japanese tooltip says
Yeah,
this.
I was just reading the Japanese thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
Don't blame me.
yeah. When you get like story and lore details wrong, you just be like, look, I was just reading the Japanese tooltips,
Yeah.
guys.
The Japanese story said this. So.
Oh my god.
They did tell us the tooltips were very wrong. I guess I just didn't expect them to be the
They told us they
opposite.
were not final. They didn't say they were very wrong. They said they were
Yeah.
Okay.
not final.
The,
They didn't
way,
tell
the
us
way
that
they
they
said
were
not
fucking
final, though,
terrible.
the way they said not final was like
How did they say it?
they're not good. They didn't just say they're not final. They also just said a lot of them are wrong. I just
So
don't
we
know how wrong.
won't really have any solidified information until the 16th.
I mean, to be fair,
is what
that
you're
was
saying.
all of this was subject to change to the 16th, regardless of what the tooltip
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm,
absolutely.
fair.
Which is why you've been seeing basically watermarks on everything that we've been releasing to say exactly that.
Subject to change.
hmm
Apparently, so are the tooltips. Very
Yep.
much so. Well, I mean, that just makes waiting even more interesting, guys. Please continue to
I
speculate.
agree. Let's continue.
More
to speculate.
presents.
Definitely continue the spatula. All right. So, what is... You know what was unfortunate? So, actually, I think we could have checked out the PvP changes while we were there. You know what we would have had to do, though? Go to Summerford Farms and mount up and manually go to the Wolf's Den.
Oh my
You're
god.
right.
Speaking of which,
So if we're gonna talk about PvP, should we bring up what I learned?
what did you learn?
All right, chat. So patch 4.1. Patch 4.1. 2 teams. Siege weapons.
Yeah, I sat in on that interview, and I was still surprised when you said it because I forgot.
See, when you say siege weapons, I'm hearing blitzball.
I will punch you in the mouth.
Siege weapons and blitzball? What are you talking about?
I will punch you in the mouth.
You say 4.1. I'm hearing blitzball.
But yeah, I brought up the whole 3-way PvP with Yoshi in our interview, and he mentioned that around 4.1, you can look forward to some team versus team, 2 teams instead of 3, and maybe a little bit of siege weaponry happening. So we'll see
So
how
how do you
that
think the
pans
siege
out.
weapons going to operate? Are they going to be like Guild Wars 2? Are they going to be like Elder Scrolls Online?
I could maybe see something. Well, we have like cannons in game already.
Mm-hmm.
And things like that, maybe kind of something similar to that. What I think we're finally going to get is a way long time ago. Well, that was awful English. They showed us,
Sure, concept art.
yeah, of like a siege and like all these fucking like siege weapons and shit. Yeah. And it never came to fruition. And so I think like maybe we're finally going to get like a castle siege kind of thing where like one
It's like
team's
Elder Scrolls
defending.
Online, which is like the one redeeming feature of that game for me. Was
I've
like
never played it,
siege,
so.
PvP. Oh, it was a lot of fun.
But like basically like one team is defending and another's trying to capture. is what I got
Awesome.
out of that. Yeah, sounds fucking awesome. Better than punching crystals.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Way
not hard
better.
to beat. That's not hard to beat. But yeah, so that's exciting. On top of the PvP changes, which if one of you guys want to take off with that,
Well, I mean, we don't really have anything else to add from last week. Like,
No.
we still don't know anything.
No.
Don't have any
Or,
new information.
I suppose, yeah.
I guess
suppose.
only really the potencies and like being 1 damage to 1 potency, sort of in the calculation. So like when something says it's 3,000 potency in PvP, it does 3,000 damage. So
Which is great. I reckon it's really, really great that you can calculate it all so
Yeah.
easily.
yeah, you can literally sit down and make a burst combo in like, a few minutes.
Know
like, in
exactly
an
how much
optimal-
damage it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also makes balancing it easier. Watch them end up with like some ass backwards numbers. Like, okay, well, we determined that it's like 192 points too much, so make it 2,802, 2,808 potency. Oh man, yeah. The changes to Lords of Vermilion. How about this? Just go to Japan and play Lords of Vermilion, and
Yeah.
that's better.
Yeah.
Okay, so what job haven't we talked about yet? Red Mage.
I haven't talked much about Red Mage, yeah.
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 I know Merri's working on something to do with Red Mage.
Yep.
So Merri,
Mhm.
I want to see if you relate with me on this one.
Okay.
Is it just me or is Red Mage like the easiest job of like all the jobs
Yes.
in the fucking game?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. It
What the
feels
fuck did I tell
really-
y'all last week?
It feels really easy to get into. So here's another thing too. I hate casters. I hate it with a passion. I do not like casting. I
Why?
don't like black mage. I don't like it. I've always been a melee. I just don't like casting. But when I played red mage, I had fun. It was a lot of fun.
Told you it was gonna be that shit was gonna be easy.
There was
It-
no
it felt
samurai,
like-
but
Like basically from what you saw from it, it looks fucking easy.
yeah, it is. It's very. It flows really well. It's kind of
So why
like
was
monk.
it-
It's
Why
like
was
the,
it meant
it's like
to
the
be fun? Is it because of the flow?
yeah. It
Yeah.
felt it's like a caster monk. It flows really well. Like everything just kind of flows into itself. you know?
No, I think that feels kind of weird that, Samurai kind of has like the high skill ceiling and then Red Mage being really accessible and easy to everyone. I feel like two polar opposites.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's weird.
So a few things that help with Red Mage's difficulty curve. One, it's very clear what your goal is as a Red Mage. It is to get to 80 white mana, 80 black mana. You want one that's 1 point higher than the other. You don't want them at the exact same value.
Yeah.
I did look at my footage. I had them both at 100. And when you do Ver Flare, Ver Holy, you won't get the proc because one's not more than the other. So you do want like a slight imbalance, but only by a point or two. And there's no dot management on the job. There's no, other than embolden, there's no buff management. You literally don't have the two things that pretty much every job has relied on all these years to determine it. It's literally dual cast, and that's what you're managing the entire time.
Yep.
And then I'd imagine you'll embolden right after you get a Ver Flare, Ver Holy proc, because it's magic damage, and that's your biggest potency.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it is by far the easiest job to pick up and figure out what you're doing. Just there's
I'd agree.
nothing to manage on it at all.
I found it super reassuring that reassuring. Did I say reinsuring? Anyway, I think it's good that both Red Mage and Samurai do look like they're quite easy to pick up and play. Because I was a little worried that they were going to be like super overwhelming, having all of these abilities and stuff dumped on us at level cap and being like, oh. And not having the kind of baseline that we've had with all the other jobs to sort of build upon. It looks like for the most part they're very approachable, and they're, like Mike was saying, it's very clear and simple to see like what your goal is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Samurai might seem a little daunting at first just because of its many combos, but it's really not so bad once you get going.
I found the most daunting thing about Samurai was just all of the Japanese words.
Yeah, that's gonna take some
Yeah.
clever abbreviations by the community to agree on.
So
So
the big thing with where was I going with that? With Red Mage, they have no built-in MP tools, but somebody already mathed it out. If you take Lucid Dreaming, you will go MP neutral if you use it on cooldown. So there you go, fixed. And then if you have a Bard, you have Refresh, etc., etc.
About Black Mage, they can just
Yeah.
give you a little bit of MP.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see Red Mage, Black Mage as a comp, but yeah, you know.
Yeah.
one question for all of you: does Red Mage being accessible and easy to play equal boredom?
I don't think
know.
so.
I don't think so. No.
It's fun. Like, it's just good fun. Like, it's really satisfying to hard cast a spell and then just boom, instantly throw out another spell. You know, and then you get a proc and you throw out another one. Like, it's good. It feels good.
And also, you can use your dual cast procs on Res.
And cure.
And Cure.
And the cure's really potent.
The cure is 350 potency, but it scales with intelligence.
When we were running the dungeon, I fucking popped when I was like 5k, which was 1/4 of my HP.
It's a lot of MP though.
It's 400 out of like 12k. So if you're spamming it, it'll eat it up. But like, it's like a 4th of your HP, 1 cure. Like,
That's pretty strong.
Yeah, and you can just like dual cast it.
If you're comparing it to something like Second Wind, it's pretty fucking powerful.
Yeah. And the important thing here is, like, let's say shit hits the fan. Red Mage technically will probably be able to step in and be like, all right, I'm gonna throw out a couple cures to make sure this person doesn't die. Like, especially with dual cast, like, you hard cast one, next one instant, and that's like 10k.
They can, but will they do it? Will any Red Mage actually be like, you know, I'm just gonna, that's fine, I'll stop using it.
I gotta keep throwing out fire. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, top tier raiders, if it means salvaging a pull.
Have fun with those MP problems though. If you got to throw out some reses on Red Mage, that's gonna suck.
Yeah. But you can do like 4 back to back real quick,
and then be worthless forever.
Yeah.
Red Mage has always had that, you know, jack of all trades kind of mentality, and it seems to be more master of all in this regard, even though people won't treat it that way. Like you said, people are either going to just be straight up concerned about their damage and not give a damn about.
Well, they should be.
They should be. It's their job. I think it's retained as much of that feeling as it can, like, without being broken.
I think they did a great job of making it as Red Magey as they could in 14.
I will say this though, the sword feels like a waste of space at times because you use it so infrequently. It's like you're just kind of pointing it, and then you're like, all right, I'll use this in about a minute.
Yep, you really don't melee a lot.
So you think they could have done without it?
Their melee, let's just say this, their melee attacks scale with strength. So it does like 60 damage in auto. When your other spells are doing, like, you know, in the thousands. It's like
just hang out in the range. You know, you don't have to worry about getting up close.
It's weird that they have a cure that scales with intelligence and then the auto scales with strength. I guess they didn't want people to stay in melee range. They probably deliberately wanted people.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So you flip back, stay there.
Yeah, because if it's scaled with int, like, you'd be required to stay in melee range, and that would be kind of ridiculous.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Summoner is another one we haven't talked about. So Summoner, they kind of gave Summoners what they were asking for without really giving them what they were asking for.
What, Eggy?
No, proper summon.
So they gave them Demi Bahamut. They gave them Demi Bahamut, and they put a lot more power into the pets. And they took out the dot management, or the difficulty of the dot management of the job. They only have 2 dots now, which makes Try Disaster dumb. I'm just saying. I saw Ethys' face. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and it makes the concept of Try Disaster completely redundant. Do you think they're going to rename Try Disaster?
No, because technically with the
dual disaster,
with the disease debuff from miasma, it's technically 3. I mean, and it's also bio 3 and miasma 3, so it's you know.
No, fair enough.
There you go.
Disaster. There you go.
both of your dots are 30 seconds, and Try Disaster resets every time you go into Dreadworm Trance.
Mm-hmm.
So, easy. That being said, Fester's potency took a hit. In theory, if the tooltip's not fucked up, the damage from Fester doesn't match what the tooltip suggests, so it may be a fuck up. Because it looks like Fester's still doing more than Pain Flare, but it's hard to tell. Then they gave you this Enkindle proc. They gave you this new debuff for in place of Contagion. They changed Radiant Shield, and Demi Bahamut hits like a goddamn fucking truck. I don't know if you've seen how much damage Demi Bahamut does.
Well, you bloody hope so. Like, I mean,
I wanna get
You
8
wanted to feel
summoners,
weighty.
yeah.
and I wanna go kill Bahamut.
Bahamut.
Summoners.
So the goal now is Summoner. There's 2 goals pretty much, from what I can see. You want as many Ruin 4 procs as possible,
Mm-hmm.
because every time you get a Ruin 4 proc, it's 10 seconds off of Enkindle timer. I'm hoping Ethys isn't dead.
Nah, I just accidentally put my headphones on. I'm good.
Okay. So you want all those Enkindle procs with all the ruins, and then you want to get to Demi Bahamut as quick as possible.
As quick as possible. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm curious to see how all these potency changes end up playing into what we actually get. Because everyone keeps, almost everyone I've seen is saying jobs are nerfed. I've not seen a single person talk about a job being buffed. I keep saying,
That's crap, though. That's absolute garbage. I don't agree with that at all.
what would you say?
I think that anyone speculating about things being buffed, things being nerfed, whatever. I mean, we've already established that the tooltips are unreliable. None of these people that are saying this have played any of the jobs at level 70. It's like, just reserve your judgment until the game is released and you can play it. It's just like you just.
But all we can do at this point is speculate. That's all we can do. Like, without even having it in.
But saying this has been nerfed, I don't think that's a speculation so much as like a sort of conclusion.
Hardcore assessment.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the main thing is it looks nerfed compared to what we are used to here at 60.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the game at 70, that's your new base. And then you have to look at how they perform versus each other at 70, not compare how they performed versus each other at 60, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you said, for the first few days, we're not even going to have any basis to compare like what we have now.
You literally shouldn't be comparing your... Like, you can say you were more in meta at 60, you know, comparatively. I think that's fair to say. To say you were nerfed from level 60 seems improper to me.
Mm-hmm.
I still think White Mage is fucked, but that's besides the point. I just feel like you can't... When with all the formula changes, with all the potency changes, everyone's seeing potency changes. Everyone's seeing some degree of change. A lot of potencies brought down, AoE's brought down, single targets brought down, power shift. But it all matters. All that matters is how it plays at 70 versus the other jobs at 70.
Yeah, exactly.
And Mike, I want to ask you. Sorry to keep you talking, but we always, in the past few weeks, we always talk about the whole power creep. Do these changes address the power creep?
I didn't feel like my damage was absurd when we were at I-290. But we obviously know that's not very high of an item level increase compared to what we'll probably go up to.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell. I need to see it pan out at the highest item level that we have available in 4.0. Because 270, 290, it's about the same. But that doesn't speak very well for how it creeps. You know what I mean?
Right.
And going back to just the general idea of like, you know, waiting until you get your hands on it, I have something that kind of ties into it, maybe a little bit. So think of it this way.
Okay.
As I mentioned earlier, I hate casters. And when I was going into Red Mage, I was like, I'm probably not going to like this, you know, it's caster. But I loved it, you know, and I had expectations that I was going to hate it based off what I'd seen. So that being said, maybe just hang in there till Stormblood drops. see how it plays for yourself, and then, make your call before you go doomsaying, thinking it's the end of the world.
I think that's reasonable.
So I want to ask you guys something.
Okay.
You, a lot of your friends or raid members or whatever came across this information today.
Mm-hmm.
What have been their general reactions, like raid compositions or jobs they want to play or what they think is strong? Have you even spoken to them?
Yeah. A lot of a lot of my mates have been excited about Bard for similar reasons that we were talking about earlier. The fact that they do actually feel like a Bard now, and they've changed more than probably any other job. A lot of people are sort of bemoaning White Mage a little bit, as we've said. I've been finding that the intuitions that we've been having, and I don't want to assume this because I'm sure someone in chat or someone in the YouTube comments will tell us that we're ignorant. I feel like most of our intuitions have echoed what most people have been saying over the last nearly 12 hours now.
Well, except for the people that had more information than us with the correct tooltips.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting. What about you, Merri?
I hear a lot of hype about Monk from friends. A lot of people are
Really?
excited.
I've heard the opposite. I've heard a lot of people concerned
Really?
about Monk.
Really?
Yeah, they think
I heard people
Brotherhood's
getting
not enough.
My roommate was going on and on. He's he's really excited about the whole idea of getting stacks, or a 30% chance to get a stack of Forbidden Chakra on a crit. And the thing is,
crazy.
Yeah, because every boot shine's a crit. Internal release. If again, Litany and what's it called, the other buff.
Stratagem.
Yeah, that's all in the air still.
Bod,
there's a lot of crit, and so that coupled up with Brotherhood, you're just gonna be fucking throwing out Forbidden Chakras left and right. It's kind of exciting.
You know what I want to point out in the job action trailer? They got chakra stacks 100% of the time from boot shine, and they got. I'm just saying.
That was hashtag. Right? That was hashtag 2 monks.
Yeah, it's because they had that monk synergy.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm just saying, maybe it's not 30%. Maybe it's.
It's
higher.
100.
It's 100%.
You fucking imagine that?
Yeah, there you go.
That'd be pretty cool.
There you go.
Yeah, that'd be pretty dumb.
Sly, what about you? Anybody you've spoken to? Gotten any info from them? Any feedback from them?
No real feedback. I can probably figure that I actually did some old content last week with my Dark Knight, and I'm pretty sure he's excited for Dark Knight. He should be excited for Dark Knight with all the changes. Hopefully he doesn't, go the Merri route and go to Samurai.
Because then you won't have a tank.
What do you mean? Samurai is third eye.
Yeah, dude, 20% damage reduction.
That's true.
And a 500
That
potency
means
self-cure.
one of our other DPS would probably have to
You know what they don't have though?
I'm still gonna be a Sam tank.
You know what they don't have though?
What?
King Flurry.
I feel like my stomach virus just came back hearing that.
Ethys, I'm sad, but I'm not that fucking sad.
You should be, dude.
I'm not that sad.
You should be.
I'm not.
It's
I'm sorry.
Don't.
I don't know.
That's it? Is the conversation over? Can I come back to it now?
Yeah, fine.
Sure.
Fine. You know what?
Sure.
Fine. We'll have a Keen Flow show on my channel.
Yeah.
If you do a Keen Flurry show on your channel at this,
Yeah.
I'll help you make the montage.
is it a Dragoon only show? You just call it Keen Flurry.
Formal request. If anyone has any videos or screenshots or any nice Keen Flow moments where it's saved their ass somewhere, send them to me on Twitter, on my email, somewhere, anywhere. Send them to me.
He's gonna do a video of Keen Flurry with "How Do I Say Goodbye?"
Yeah,
with
pretty
Boys
much.
Men. Yeah.
I'd love to do that.
in the arms of an
How could
angel.
this happen to me?
How do I?
I'm fucking serious, you guys.
Say
No.
Yeah, don't joke about
I'm
this.
fucking serious, all right?
Keen Flurry will be missed. I understand.
Honestly,
this. We're
you'd be
twins,
better
so
off
we
doing
have
a
that connection.
You'd be better off
Good
doing a fucking bloodbath video for
times.
warriors.
Nah, fuck bloodbath.
You know how many warriors would want a fucking bloodbath montage pre 4.0?
Yeah, but bloodbath isn't like you take a hit and you're like, holy shit, that just saved my life.
No,
No.
it's you hit the fell cleave and you healed for like a fourth of your fucking health.
Yeah, 6 fell cleaves with bloodbath. Hello.
Yeah.
It's too much. That's why they took it away. They're like, it's too much power.
That's all I'm saying.
We can't let this happen.
Look, I know what you guys are trying to. You're trying to do the whole like plenty of other fish in the sea kind of thing. I'm just saying, I'm not buying it. It's too soon. All right. Don't you go compare my keen Flurry to no other woman. All right.
I mean, not only are they getting rid of Keen Flurry, but Perry too. It's just gone. You know.
Now I want you to imagine the samurai
gone.
heals with bloodbath.
You shut the fuck up about bloodbath.
Ooh, I didn't think about
But
that.
you're right. Though. You're right.
I just
I'm
want.
gonna
Shit, you're not wrong about that.
I'm gonna solo fucking A12S on Samurai.
Yeah, you let me know how that goes. I'm looking forward to that video, Merri.
Yeah, you got it.
Is that going to be
Same
in the
time.
how-to samurai video?
Yes.
Oh, I'm
Clever
getting-
editing, I can do it.
How to God damn it. Well, no,
Sam.
that's bullshit. No, that's cheating. How are you?
You won't know that. You won't know that.
No, I'll know. Don't wink. That's
You won't know.
don't do that. Please don't do that. You know what's one job we haven't really talked about other than delete Black Mage? I hate that meme, by the way, so much. It's so unoriginal.
But you keep saying it.
Because the chat says it
You,
and they relate to
you
it.
said it in pre-show, and now we
No, I said
added
no.
white.
Delete.
No, I said that the delete White Mage memes were a thing in pre-show.
We would just
Delete-
add
delete
white
memes.
mage.
It's not a meme. It's an ancient Girabunyan axiom. You see all the red mages in Girabunyan, they've got a
Here we go.
tattoo on their
Here we
chest. Hashtag delete Black Mage.
And on their back is delete White Mage.
If they didn't delete Black Mage, we would have just ended up with another fucking War of the Magi. Deleting Black Mage is the thing that saved the realm.
Is red mage really gonna do that well of replacing black mage? in a comp?
Every single Black Mage that I personally know is planning on switching to Red Mage.
So the thing about Black Mage is they kind of fell into the same rut that Samurai fell into with less crazy potencies, pretty much. Where their real only raid utility got moved into Crossroll, which was APOC. And other than that, it's just, 10 Fire Force. That's their other raid utility, is doing 10 Fire Force in their opener.
So they're in the same boat with samurais. They're fucking damage. Got it.
But not doing as much damage. It seems probably not doing.
Well, the thing is, if I recall, and I don't know if this has changed, just because it's been a while since I've checked, enemies naturally have a lower magic defense than physical defense, if I recall correctly. So they may be comparable. I don't know, man. 10 Fire Force is pretty fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
And the endless, for me, literally, the endless mana pool has always been a major buff to never be resource starved outside
Right,
of
that's the thing. You're just going to take a battery ice mage for you 3 red
punch you in the
mages.
mouth.
Yeah.
God, can we ever go talking about black mage?
So
without
red
talking
mage,
about ice
red mage Vercure is going to be the equivalent of the black mage ice mage, right? The red mage who just goes into the dungeon and wants to cure.
Yeah, Red Mage healer.
You think that's going to happen?
I healed in Final Fantasy 11. I can heal in 14. You don't pay my sub.
I just like PayPal him $5 and be like, yeah, I do, bitch.
You better
Yeah,
fucking
but
cast a
You're
flare.
going to have a lot of dollar bills ready at this because you're going to be doing it a lot. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm curious. I think Black Mage will be fine. A lot of people are doom and glooming Black Mage also. But I don't know, man. It's a lot of Fire Force. It's a lot of Fire Force. Foul is pretty strong. I mean, they have a lot of damage. It's just... none of us took the time to see exactly how much.
I just think they're so fucking boring. They're just so boring.
Care to
And
elaborate?
that's just my opinion. I reckon
But they're
a
just
fine job.
wait,
I just-
Tom. They're essentially the same goddamn thing as red mage. it's all about fucking balance. And
They don't have a sword or nice clothes.
Exactly. Exactly. They just feather in the cap? No, I don't fucking think so. Do they get?
Oh, do they have a swag emote? No, they don't.
No, I don't think so. No, dude.
They're the same
Get
goddamn
that weak
thing.
shit out of here.
They're the same goddamn thing.
No.
You guys aren't putting up a compelling argument against Sly right now. It's just saying no.
No.
I'm not trying to I'm just saying that they're fucking boring.
But why?
I mean,
so
why
essentially,
are they
wait.
so much more boring than Red Mage?
Exactly.
Because Red Mage can cast 2 spells in a row.
Want a fucking cookie?
You guys are so bad at this.
I mean, really? They're not giving me anything to say that it's pretty much the same thing, goddamn thing as Red Mage.
When is your Black Mage
so
ever going?
Black Mage is like they're doing the thing and then they throw the spell. And then they do the thing. and they throw the
Everybody's
spell.
in chat saying Black Mages can't cure.
And then
They
they do the
cower.
thing and they throw the spell.
They cower. They lean back and they go,
Yeah.
oh, no.
And then Red Mage is like fucking like, bitch.
Exactly. It's just so much more satisfying.
Yeah.
Did we just make the How to Red Mage guide? Is that what just happened? Right now?
Yeah. I'll copy this later and then it'll be good.
Anybody want to put up a real argument here against, like, if you guys actually just anything?
So, okay, real argument. I feel like Red Mage, I mean, just in Ver Raise and Ver Cure alone, it sets itself aside because those are really solid utility that Black Mage just doesn't have. And that alone just kind of pushes Red Mage into an entirely different
let's conquer the gameplay styles between
gameplay styles.
Let's talk about. So let's break it down. Black Mage, you have Astral Fire, you have Polyglot, you have Enochian, and you have Umbral Hearts. Okay. You have, when you cast Blizzard 4, you get these Umbral Hearts. You get to do extra Fire 4s, pretty much. Okay? So you do, what, Fire 4, Fire 4, Fire 4, I think Fire 1. I don't know how many Fire 4s you can do per Astral Fire. So I'm going to sound dumb saying this a little bit. But it's basically Fire 4, Fire 4, Fire 4, Fire, Fire 4, Fire 4, Fire 4, Fire, Fire 4. I don't know. Fucking a bajillion Fire 4s over there. And then back to Blizzard, you got your Thunder, you got your Polyglot maybe about this time. Put the Blizzard 4 up, then Fire 4, Fire 4, Fire 4, Fire. Okay. You got your ley lines, the AoEs are targeting you, you fucking walk out, you're upset, you go back. The White Mage pulls you out, he's an asshole. Okay. Red Mage, it's literally Jolt 2, one of 2 spells. If you got an Impact proc, Impact. If you got the proc from the Ver whatevers, use those. It's basically, I don't know, I get what he's saying. The flow is kind of the same. By the time you figure out Red Mage.
And that's why I asked if Red Mage seemed a little bit boring because of the whole play style. It's kind of similar to Black Mage.
I think the fact that there's so many visual changes to, like, Black Mage is literally one spell you're seeing fucking 9 times in a row. Whereas Red Mage, you're constantly analyzing that bar, watching one go up, then the other go up, then one go up. You get one proc, you get a different proc, you get this proc, you get that proc. You throw some fucking swords at the bad guy.
Yeah, and every now and again you dash in and do a little...
You dash in, you do a little
Zorro.
melee, you jump back, you blow shit up. I think it's very visually appealing compared to Black Mage, where there's enough of a variety in the different actions you're actually pressing that it feels better. While conceptually it is actually very similar. It's the feeling of it.
Yeah. Red Mage feels more agile, whereas Black Mage is, as it always has been, a stationary turret. Red Mage, you're going around, you have time to move while you do your dual
Red Mage
cast.
also has Embolden.
Fair point.
Red Mage also has Embolden.
That's right.
Which is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
20% magic damage for them. It falls off every 4 seconds.
10% for everybody else.
10% for everyone else. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion on why Red Mage is more fun than Black Mage. I also think dual casting every other spell is more exciting than hard casting so many spells.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what I was saying earlier. It's very, very satisfying.
That's the big thing. No. Mel's trying to feed me kiwis. No. I don't want to chance it.
Question for sort of, I guess, future-proofing Black Mage. Do we ever, in terms of role skills, do we ever think that we'll get something to kind of put Black Mage near kind of on the same pedestal as Red Mage? turning card casting into dual casting, giving them that ability. No.
It would take away Red Mage's identity.
Yeah. I think they've tried to strive to really give all the jobs an identity in this expansion. And I think that we'll probably move away from doing that just to make them more similar. If they want to make something similar, like I think what Sly's saying is crossroll, but I don't think that in particular.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think if anything, we'll see maybe some Black Mage buffs.
Monthly.
I don't know. I gotta see how the magic defense ends up working out.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But if we're assuming, like, as we've sort of been entertaining the idea that they're performing like a similar function to Samurai, except not bringing the deeps quite as hard as Samurai, they might be like, well, hey, maybe we should get them on the same level. That's the only change I can really see happening to Black Mage.
Yeah.
And that, even that is obviously begging the question of them doing less damage than Samurai.
So this kind of begs the question for me, because we've pretty much gone through most of the jobs, and we talked about comp like a few times tonight. Now that we've kind of gone over the jobs, is there anything that really doesn't fit in the comp? I mean, the way you're talking, it seems like Black Mage maybe doesn't have any place. Not really any place, but it just seems a little less viable to have a Black Mage in your comp, or maybe a White Mage in your comp.
Yeah,
well, what you're saying.
All Red Mage jokes aside, I think the only things that you might be a little bit like in regards to composition of Black Mage and White Mage, and I think that when we actually get into raid, it's not going to be a big deal. And I think pretty much any comp is good. I mean, any comp is viable in Heaven's Word. It looks like it's going to be even more so the case now.
I feel like that's the PC thing to say, that every comp is viable, but in a realistic sense.
So here's the thing.
Fuck that.
I beat Creator with 2 fucking monks, me on Machinist with no fucking idea what I was doing, a Black Mage instead of a Summoner. We did half the fights with Paladin.
Yeah.
And White Mage.
You did it in good time.
Yeah. It's
so
like...
Sorry, go ahead.
It's like, yes, there is always a definitive min-maxed meta comp. The problem is not that. That is fine. That should always be that way. The problem is when people take it as gospel as the only composition.
Yeah, they conflate it too.
Yeah.
That works.
Viability and efficiency are 2 different things.
And I think to kind of take that to the extreme, I think that as like commentators, ourselves and like other podcasters and casters and YouTubers, we kind of have a responsibility to not mislead people into thinking that the meta is important, because I think a lot of that was also happening at the beginning of Heaven's Ward. And it's like, hey, you know, if we who are slightly more informed than the average player, or at least the average player thinks are slightly more informed than they are not kind of pushing this bullshit letter of the meta being super important to everyone, then no one's gonna fall into that trap of believing it again.
But I feel like in times like these, especially going into an expansion, I feel like people overthink the meta way too much, even with this influx of information and everything. And then as we get into raids and things, we actually get clears, it kind of trickles down from there. But for now, people are definitely.
I think it ever trickled down in Heaven's Ward. Like people were yammering about it the whole way through Heaven's Ward. And I'm just saying that, like Mike says, there's a definitive mathematical meta. It's just that people overstate it. It only matters to less than 1% of the player base anyway. Yeah. Like it matters for like maybe 2 or 3 weeks after the release of Raid. After that, it means nothing.
If you
I just don't want us to be part of the problem. You know what I mean? In terms of pushing that idea of the meta.
If you aren't going for world first, min-maxing isn't, unless that's like your thing, it's not important. Like, you can play whatever you want and complete the raids. Like,
So I want to say one more thing about that, and then I want to pose a question to you guys about something else that's happening. So I think the big thing here is we all are still, as much as we like to say that, we all are still guilty of pushing a meta. We come on the show, we meme and shit like that, and that does reinforce it.
Yeah.
Of course.
That being said, what ultimately it comes down to is how good you are at the game. It doesn't matter what comp you run if you're shit. Don't just only accept comps and then everyone plays the jobs like shit. Play if you're good at a job, focus on beating it while being good at that job. Like, don't start being like to your friend, well, all the good people say Bard is now meta, so fuck your summoner. You have to go Bard or we'll never clear it.
Because you're probably going to be better at summoner than you are at Bard.
That expands to so many things.
Yeah.
Skip Soar or disband. Or just do Soar.
Yeah, or just learn how to play the fight.
Yeah, or just, do Soar.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that hard.
Yeah. That's my opinion. Just have fun. That's why we ran 2 monks, because we didn't want... The only reason I ran Machinist and we didn't run triple monk is because even I was like, all right, I don't want to go that far. I want to have some sort of viability here. So, yeah.
And look, Mike, like you were saying, that, we come on the show, we're trying to entertain people, we're making memes about deleting Black Mage and stuff like that. And it's like, some people think that's funny and they're going to carry that forward. And, it is funny. Like, I'm responsible for a lot of Lalafell hate, and it's fucking hilarious. And I know a lot of people get upset about that. But it's like, we're just, I mean, I can only speak for myself, but I'm a fucking idiot. I believe that these 3 other guys are also fucking idiots. I can't speak for them, but I think they're idiots. And just like, don't take us too seriously.
Yeah, and I know Ethys is, he's a bitch.
I'm illiterate. Like, I can't read and write.
Illiterate.
We like to have fun here.
That's what I was going for.
Yeah. I'm literally a puppet. I've got some dude standing.
He's a muppet.
Doing this one.
It's me. What do you think my arm is right now?
That's what the green screen's for.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So now I want to pose this. We talk about how metacomps are not overly important for current content. I would like to pose the thought for 4.1, however, where a Super Savage is coming. Now, if you guys watched Mog Talk before this, if you didn't, I highly recommend you go back and watch it.
It was a good show.
Layla Bell, several-time world first warrior in Elysium, had an interview with Yoshi P. He was at the event. He did a bunch of min-maxing for the tank, so it was a great watch. I highly recommend it. If you guys haven't seen it, after you watch this, go watch that. He has a question about Yoshi P regarding the Super Savage, which is our 3rd difficulty, pretty much, for odd-numbered patches. They confirmed it is the 2nd Coil Savage team that will be working on it. And what was the other thing? We had the discussion. What was the one other thing? 2nd Coil Savage team is working on it. And
it already exists, I think, what it's going to be.
Oh, they already know what it's going to be. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
So, for something of that level, do you think the freedom in meta will remain the same?
God, no.
Super Savage? Fuck no.
No.
I mean, that was
the other thing we confirmed. It's not a whole tier of fights. That was the other thing.
It's just one fight.
One fight.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of blatantly obvious when you're talking about like content that goes beyond the difficulty of what you currently have. Yeah, of course, it's like there's going to be when you're talking about that level of content, there's going to be a specific meta for that level of content. That's
if
a little
a specific meta, then it's not savage enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for what we have beneath that, it's a little less restrictive. It has a lot more freedom. And like you guys were saying, I mean, it doesn't really, it's not really dictated if you're not really going after world first or anything like that. So that's pretty much a good 90% of the population, if not more than that. You're definitely, for something like Super Savage, you're definitely going to have something like a specific or the meta in terms of comp. I don't know how you guys feel, Ethys. What do you think?
Well, I don't think you'll need like the meta as in like only these 8 jobs and nothing else. But there will be comps that are non-viable for it, I think.
I'd like to point out that a Super Savage fight like that, the one thing that is not holding a fight like that back is gear. You've had months to collect gear at that point.
Yeah.
So it's not something that you'll likely be getting better at outside of just improving on the fight. So how long do you think a fight like that would take to complete? Something that is literally only challenging you mechanically. It's not out item level scaling you or anything like that.
I want to say a couple of weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to take a couple of weeks.
I think
Longer?
for the super
I
hardcore
think it's gonna take
groups,
shorter.
it'll take a couple of nights. If that.
I think the world tier people will still beat it within 2 or 3 days, personally.
Yeah. I mean, most people who like they get through Savage and they're like, oh yeah, well, why not? Let's have a shot of this or whatever. I'd say they should get through it in a couple of weeks.
One thing we really haven't gauged, and we really can't gauge until we get it, is the difficulty itself. I mean, we can only gauge it from what we've known with Creator and how, like, as of recent, it was a little bit more, let's say, accessible to everyone in terms of the clear rate. I mean, going off of that, I agree with you a little bit, Happy, that it might be a short-term deal we're working with within the World First teams, like maybe a few days or so. But then again, they could go the route of Gordius and just trump everything back up to, A3 level wall difficulty, and it might take a few weeks. So again, we really can't say because, our sense of difficulty might be thrown out the window once we get our hands on Stormblood.
Another thing with the Super Savage fight, it will be a fight you've beaten before. You won't be learning it. I shouldn't say you won't be learning it entirely from scratch. You'll have seen that fight to some
Do
degree.
we know that for certain?
To some,
Okay.
Yes.
so new mechanics
And
still.
it's not even limited
Yeah.
to Omega. That means they could reach into any fight in the game if they really wanted to.
Ozma Savage.
Ozma.
Ozma Savage.
That's a little bit different.
That's what I thought,
That's a
too.
24 man though, so we'll see. I mean, not to say it
Well,
could happen, but
Yeah.
Well, wait. When we saw the video, was it 24 men when they
Yes.
showed the video at FanFest? Okay.
yes.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if the first one is an 8-man Ozma Savage though. But I also wouldn't be surprised to see them finally go back and do Super Savage Bahamut, for example,
That'd
or
be
something
so
along those
good.
lines,
Yes.
or even revisit Alexander himself. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go back to the previous final raid tier bosses or things like that.
Or what was the thing Zeno said? Blood of the Dragon Titan.
Thorn March Super Savage. Pepsi Man Super Savage.
There you go.
Yes. Oh man, that'd be so good.
Imagine they did like a
that.
4-man dungeon boss did it Super Savage. That'd be really weird.
I'd be actually down for that.
They do the fucking scorpion from the lava scorpion from some all hard mode. Super Savage lava scorpion. Dude, that thing would be a nightmare. That thing's already a nightmare if you are at item level. A4 Savage, Super Savage.
Super
Wait,
Savage
wait.
slime boss from Copper Bell.
When you say that, I really want them to pull from Palace of the Dead and do that with a 4-man boss.
I would do it with
That'd
what's her face?
Edda.
Edda.
Yeah, Edda.
Edda Savage.
Edda Savage.
Oh man. Oh well. Yeah. I'm looking forward. I was glad he got a pretty good answer out of that one. It's a lot to look forward to. I can't remember which interview it came out of, but I also recall mention of the amount of dungeons we'll be seeing. I don't know if you guys before I get too much into it, I do want to let the chat have the opportunity to share the interview if anyone knows what I'm talking about. I believe it was on Gamer Escape.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I think so. Anyone in the chat, the number of dungeons? Anyone have that interview handy? So I can just quote it word for word. Come on, somebody shared it with me earlier. I just didn't fucking save it. No, I hate you guys.
I don't know, dude.
They were all so
You
reliable
talk
earlier,
about
and
it.
now they're all hiding.
You talk about it for a moment, and I'll try to find it for you.
Yeah?
CSI.
Yeah?
Yeah.
MMORPG.com. There you go.
Oh, okay, cool.
There you go. It was Ricewind who shared it earlier. Okay. Permit Ricewind. Thank you. So if I recall correctly, Ricewind's interview that he linked with MMORPG.com states that they'll be basically doing so many other pieces of content. And we already know 4.2 is supposed to have a brand new type of content. Never before seen, they said. We know we have Eureka. We know we have the next deep dungeon. We know we have the Super Savage. That odd-numbered patches, they only have a single level 60 dungeon being added.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, well, I'm going to get the quote. I just need you to share it. I just need, Ricewind, you need to share it in the chat so I can, so we can check it out.
So never before seen.
So first of all, I'd like to say I hope that one dungeon just gets added to the expert. And it's not a fucking one dungeon expert roulette.
Mm-hmm.
For the, I'm sorry, level 70 dungeon. Nobody even caught that I said level 60 instead of level 70.
No, we get what you're saying.
Yeah, we kind of knew.
I guess
Let's say I'm not all about that.
Oh, there we go. Okay. I don't know why Ricewind was timed out. I gave him a permit. That's weird. Hang on, let me get this. Okay, let me find the exact quote. Dungeon. All right, let's see here. Where is the word that I'm looking for? Red Mage, Samurai. Add more of the old. Okay, I also spoke briefly with Yoshi P that they might add more older dungeons to the roulette system to help. He said the problem with adding older dungeons, the older ones require a lower item level. No, that's not the right one. I'm trying to find it.
Provided the other content is like fun and rewarding and engaging.
The current plan for these patches will contain is odd-numbered patches will have one dungeon and some other new content, while even-numbered patches will have 2 new dungeons and quality of life improvements. That is what it says word for word. That is the current plan for 4.x.
So 1 new dungeon and other content.
And other content.
Ethys, you want to go ahead and get it out your system now? Like, go ahead.
No. Because, I mean, I think it's good that they're experimenting with other kinds of content because, you know, it's like hit and miss. But the fact is that we've got a couple of really, really good hits, like Palace of the Dead. And like Aquapolis and stuff like that. So if we're getting stuff like that every patch, I mean, that's fucking great. It just remains to be seen whether it's going to be stuff that is engaging in play every day. Because I mean, to be honest, like the dungeons, you know, aside from doing your roulettes and stuff like that, you don't really go in there. It's not something that you're like excited to do after the first couple of times. You know what I mean?
You know, so I'm excited because I want to see what kind of clusterfuck I get in the Duty Finder.
If they're replacing one of those dungeons with something that I'm actually going to be excited to replay time and again, and I'm all for it. It just remains to be seen.
Hell yeah.
They do that, you know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
I guess it comes down to what is this 4.2 content? 4.1, how does Eureka pan out? Next Deep Dungeon, how does that pan out? And what the fuck else are they planning? Oh, and how does Super Savage pan out? That's a lot of stuff that we don't have currently to consider.
And how Evilise is.
Yeah. I like this joke in the chat. So the reason why they can only do 1 dungeon odd numbered patches is because they spent their budget on WrestleMania.
No, they spent their budget on Papa John's.
Oh yeah, that was the thing.
They bought too many pizzas.
Yeah. They bought too many. It wasn't that they bought out the space. It was just too many pizzas.
Yeah, exactly. Because
I gotta say,
bought out space and they're like, oh shit, 50% off? Fuck. And they just been eating pizzas all the time. That's
I gotta say, man, not even 50% off is gonna make me want to get Papa John's.
Listen, I've seen you eat, Merri. I'm not surprised at all by that statement.
Listen, I have better taste in pizza than Papa John's.
Well, I know we had Uncle Vito's.
I just made so many enemies. We did. Uncle Vito's. It was so good.
Yeah, it was good.
It was all right.
It was good. It was a good home wall place.
Yeah.
Yeah, Papa John's. My bad.
Papa John's pizza.
Papa John's.
Okay. All right. Is there any point you guys feel like we didn't hit?
No.
Chat, is there any point you feel like we didn't hit? I'll leave the floor open to you guys. for just a minute. If it's a question we've already answered, we won't go back to it, just so you know. Like, we're not going to answer the little tiny individual questions we've already covered throughout the episode.
I fucked up, chat. I'm sorry. It's pizza.
There was no information on Disciples of Handerland.
No.
None. We weren't able to switch to them.
Yep. Here's a fun fact that people will like. AF, dieable from the get-go.
There you go.
Don't have to raid. Don't have to raid to upgrade it.
There you
I
go.
did not notice that. That's nice.
Yep, they all have die icon, the antiquated.
That's fucking nice.
Yep.
Let's see.
New areas?
New areas.
I feel like
we
if we
talked
get
about.
into the new areas, we're going to be sitting here for another 2 hours.
Well, no, you'll be here for another 2 hours. We'll leave. To be
Yeah.
fair, I mean, it's almost the thing is the new Tour of the East came out today. Unfortunately, we kind of knew this was going to run a long show anyway. So if we tried to show Tour of the East and talk about it, we would have been here forever.
If you guys want to see the new areas, there's this really good channel on YouTube called youtube.com/EthysAsher. And I hear he's doing videos where he's like touring each of those new areas and like talking about the stuff that we see there. And maybe you should check that out.
What a fucking sellout. Check it out. They're good. They're really
Yeah.
good.
The new areas are beautiful. And they don't resemble any of the existing areas is kind of my big thing.
Yeah, it's really like shocking. It feels a lot. They feel as big, but there's more detail.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that has to do with them getting rid of PS3.
He says he thinks. He's not confirming that, guy.
I think.
It definitely does.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and confirm that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're beautiful areas. And the enemy types, while there are a lot more enemy types that we still recognize from the other Final Fantasy games, they're very different from a lot of them are very different from the existing types that we have. So it was nice just running around a little bit. I didn't have too much time to run around. I know Ethys took a very large amount of time.
Hours and hours.
Yeah, the Kugane tour was nice, especially when you get into some of the implications of it being a neutral area. That leads to a lot of a few interesting things that I'll leave for Ethys's video for people to
Another
enjoy.
thing worth noting in Kugane is that we're going to have sightseeing log stuff there. So I think that in general, there's going to be stuff to do there, and it's going to be a lot more engaging than particularly Ishgard. I found Ishgard like through Heaven's Wall, there were like very few reasons to be hanging out in Ishgard. So I think it's going to be a lot more like well-used space than the other hub cities that we've had so far.
Apparently, it's also going to have a lot of secret areas you can jump to. Matt pulled me aside and he's like, Yoshi was talking about, they're like showing off some of the areas they could get to, and Yoshi's like, higher and more difficult to get to. So apparently there's going to be some fun stuff to
And I'm
to
sure
jump
they'll
to.
tie into the sightseeing log.
Yeah,
Yeah, more
absolutely.
I just wish we'd gotten to go to the Azim Step. Every time I see the Azim Steps, I'm always like more and more excited to go
really
there.
pretty.
Like especially
It
from the
looks
Tour
really
of the East today.
Yeah,
It just that place
so
looks like an
green.
instant favorite. For
it's
me.
so green. I love it.
It's so green.
Yeah, it's lush. It's like Green Hill Zone from fucking Sonic.
Sonic.
You know, now every time I go through there, I'm gonna go through there with Sonic music on.
You're welcome.
Only if I have triple mount speed though. Triple mount speed with Sonic
take a
music
while.
on.
Dye your
Sounds like
AF
a lot.
blue.
And
Dye your Red
AF
Mage
blue.
AF. Red Mage AF blue.
Yeah, there you go.
Blue Mage.
There you go. Take your red mage. How many people are gonna take their red mage AF and dye it blue?
Blue Mage.
Also, there were
Blue mage,
hunts.
automatic.
There were hunts in the open world that we were.
Yes.
Yeah, I died to one on
Yeah,
Monk,
I
and then I
did
kicked
one.
its ass on Warrior.
Was it a B rank or an A rank?
I don't know. It was really, really big.
Did it
It's
aggro you?
definitely not an A-rank.
I don't think so. No, it didn't.
If it didn't aggro you, then it's a
solid
B
as
rank.
A-rank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it didn't
Yeah.
if it did not aggro you and you got close and you had to hit it, then it's a B rank. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
So
kicked
there were-
my ass on Monk, and then I beat the shit out of it on Warrior.
That sounds like not much has changed then. Did you forget to cross roll Bloodbath?
Yeah.
And
I will
second
continue his
wind.
bloodbath.
And second win. He had no self-sustain. Nah, it's fine. So there were hunts. There's a few other things out there. Ooh, what's that one? What's that comment? PvP will grant EXP for your job. Apparently was confirmed in one of the interviews.
Ooh.
So that was a topic we talked about last week.
That'll be cool. I wonder how much.
I'm surprised they still did that because they made a very big point of PvP is not PvE. So it's
contributing to PvE.
Yeah, I like the idea of leveling with PvP, but it kind of goes against their whole philosophy.
It's just it cannot be the path of least resistance. I reckon that their philosophy is perfectly intact, provided that it's like significantly slower to level in PvP than it is in PvE.
Yeah, I agree.
Is Palace of the Dead still going to be a viable solution, do you think?
Absolutely.
I imagine pre-60. I can't imagine it getting nerfed pre-60. I just think after 60. No.
Yeah.
I
don't think that's a good idea.
I honestly don't think it's a good idea either, and plus it takes away from... Well, I know people initially will do the new content, the new dungeons from 60 to 70, but when they start leveling other things and going that route, like I've always hated the whole level 50 to 60 just on House of the Dead alone. I thought it's just the most boring, mindless thing to ever do, and like I've always said, the dungeon grind is the way to go, and like people still say POTD is a way to go. I would die
for speed purposes. Yes. For wanting to not off yourself by the end of leveling, no. Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah.
It's a general side effect of doing Palace of the Dead.
I am not looking forward to day one. Samurai and Palace for fucking 8 hours.
Yeah, that's why I'm doing Monk first. You can go do your
I'm
samurai.
gonna suffer.
Go do your samurai.
It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it.
Anything else? Any other little points that we have here that we wanna hit chat? Anything? Ethys, don't do your role play. Let's play series. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't stop smiling.
Look, I like doing silly voices, all right.
Oh, man. I didn't even check out the map updates. I know Brian in there did a video on the map updates. I didn't even fucking press my map button once, other than like seeing the current zone I was in.
New stats?
They've reworked the map and the way they work, and even in the old zones, like it's really nice. You can see how they all connect, and yeah, it's good.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about the new stats last week. Direct hit and parry and all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know anything more about that than what we said last week.
Wow, that new map is beautiful.
Anyway, if we did know, it would probably be wrong because of the fucking tooltips.
Yeah, probably.
That new map is beautiful.
Yep.
Just looking at it now.
It is nice.
Jump potions, other than what we mentioned last week.
We had a huge discussion.
They help you jump.
Yeah, they make you jump
real
higher.
high.
Yeah.
That's all they do, I promise.
Yeah. Makes you better at basketball.
I really dig those map changes. Those are beautiful.
They automatically give you 4 eyes.
Really cool. Avalon's actually made a video on the map changes, so shout out to Avalon Star.
Yeah, there you go.
Check him out in the UpTubs.
Yeah.
I think that's all we're gonna hit on for the day. I think I've stretched my voice to its limit for the day, and I think we had a pretty good show. So we've got a few more weeks till the expansion at this point. Final prep mode, aka play other games till it comes out, because we know all the changes now, and it's impossible to play Final Fantasy 14.
Yep. It's been impossible since the event, dude.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I'm struggling.
And it said you play 11. Me too.
Yep.
At least with 11, I don't have to think about playing because it just kind of plays itself.
Yeah. It's very chill. It's nice to kind of kick back and just like,
I love MMOs where I can just watch things happen. It's way more relaxing.
I'm playing Blue Mage, so I got like a lot of shit going on, but...
Yeah, well, that's your problem.
Yeah.
I don't got to worry about all that. We'll have obviously a few more shows. I've got a few ideas for the next few weeks, and we'll bring up Tour of the East next week. But we'll talk more about that later. I think it's about time we wrap the show up. So, gentlemen, why don't we start with Ethys.
I see
You can tell
no
them
gentleman
where they
here.
can find you.
You can find me on youtube.com/EthysAsher, twitch.tv/EthysAsher, twitter.com/EthysFFXIV. I'm super jet lagged, you guys. I got off a 15-hour flight last night, so if I'm a little bit out of sorts, that's why. I will, however, be streaming in about 3 hours. I'm doing a short stream. Yeah, keep an eye on my YouTube and all these other people's YouTubes over the next couple of days for more Stormblood stuff. And thank you so much for watching. Good to see you guys.
Merri.
You can find me on twitch.tv/very_Merri, Twitter, very_Merri, YouTube, very Merri. Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a good show today. Had fun.
I'm glad you had fun.
Exciting. It's an exciting time.
Sly.
You can find me on twitch.tv/Slyakagreyfox. You can find me on Instagram at Slyakagreyfox07, Twitter at Slythefox, YouTube /The Velvet Room, even though, I didn't go. So if you want to go for all the news and all the tooltip information, go see these three gentlemen right there. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I mean, Happy, you can find him basically everywhere. You step outside, you find Mr. Happy.
Check out
That
Mr.
would
Happy
be
in the
weird.
first place.
Yeah, Mr. Happy 1227 everywhere. Like I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do this for him because I want him to save his voice as much as possible. He doesn't need to talk.
No, it's all right.
anymore.
People
He
just want to see the giant picture of the cat anyway. That's what it is right now.
That's a fucking sweet cat.
Aloha, Dwayne the Cat Johnson.
That's
There you
a
go.
fat fucking cat.
You can find me,
Nice.
Mr. Happy, everywhere.
That's
1227.
nice.
Mr. Happy 127 everywhere. Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, IG.
Yeah.
Just not Grinder, as we've established
Oh.
at this point.
Yeah.
That's
Not
Ethys'
yet.
territory.
Yeah.
You can find him. You can find him resting his voice because that's what he'll be doing.
Yep.
I'm gonna
That's what he's
disappear into the abyss at this point.
The ether.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are gonna move on over into a very short post show, and then we'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.